Hey there everyone, I'm absolutely thrilled to welcome you all into this Autogen crash course where we are going to dive deep into the world of Autogen, a game-changing framework by Microsoft that has been revolutionizing the AI automation. Autogen is here to stay and it has been gaining a lot of popularity with more than 45,000 plus stars on GitHub. Now, whether you are a complete beginner looking to dip your toes into the world of AI, or you're a seasoned developer who is ready to take your skills to the next level, this tutorial is your ticket to mastering agentic AI with Autogen. By the end of this video, you will be able to build your own AI agents, automate your workflow like a pro, and also integrate them into your application with confidence. My name is Mayank Agarwal and I'm obsessed with making complex tech topics like these accessible and easy to understand by everyone. And I'm pretty sure that by the end of this tutorial, you will be creating your AI agents in Autogen in no time. So please make sure to share this video with everyone in your network. And now let's see that how we are going to learn and master the Autogen in our crash course. To be able to better follow the whole flow, I have divided the same into logical parts. And as you can see, we will be covering and mastering Autogen in 12 parts, starting all the way from the installation, where we will install Autogen onto our system. Then we will go and create our very first Autogen agent. Now you can think of this like a hello world in your journey of agentic AI. Then, to understand things a little bit more deeply and to have a proper idea, we will be understanding about architecture as well in depth because I believe that that is very important for from a software development point of view. Once the same is done, then we will further dive deep into agents in Autogen and see different kind of agent and how can we make sure that a agent is there which can fulfill our need. Post this, we will see that how we can configure the models by providing the brain to our agent and how smart or what all our agent can process via the multi-modal output. Once all of this has been done, we will now take advantage of the collaboration within the agents and learn about teams in Autogen, understanding along the flow that how termination condition and human in the loop can be included in the same. Once all of that has been done, then we will make sure that we learn about tools which are going to enhance the functionality of our agents a lot more. In the end, we will see that how Autogen Studio, a very good application which can help us by providing a graphical user interface for whole of our Autogen understanding, help us in creating and prototyping our use case. And by the end, we will be creating a proper end-to-end project where we will be having a backend supported by Autogen. And in the front end, we will be able to search for any research paper or any topic on the RCF library. And we will be able to get our result just like here we have got them from Agentic AI. Now, I'm super sure that by the end of this video, you will be able to follow and create your own AI agents. I have made this crash course as beginner friendly as possible. And we will go through each example step by step, line by line, ensuring that you are with me in the whole way. You will see just that how straightforward and exciting it is to bring your AI agents into life. And here's the best part, to make sure that you are able to follow your journey in the world of AI, I'm giving away all the source code along with this visualization completely for free. Just click on the link down below and you will be able to download the same so that you can kickstart your journey with this tutorial. Now, if you're really serious about your career in AI, do make sure that you watch the video till the very end and you shall be AI ready in no time. If you have any doubts or any comments, please make sure that you ask the same in the comments down below and I will clear the same in no time. So what are we waiting for everyone? Now let's dive into the very first example and build our very first AI agent together. I am beyond excited to guide you all through all of this and pretty sure that by the end, you will love Autogen as much as I do. So let's get started. Hey there everyone. So now let's get started with our Autogen journey. And today we are going to first see that how can we install Autogen onto our system. And unlike other frameworks, there's a little caveat as well, which I would like to explain to you so that you never face any problem. Now, don't worry if you're pretty new to this. I'm going to take each thing step by step and I will walk you through every command or everything which I run. Now, coming to installation, everyone, first let's go to the official website of Autogen. So this is the website, which we can go here. So Autogen, a framework for building AI agents and application. You can see that how it is Microsoft.github because Autogen is the framework which has been created and maintained by Microsoft, right? Here, now the way to explain, a way to install the same is by using this agent chat module of Autogen. So if I want to explain, install the same, what I will be doing, let me just close it here. Yeah. So I will do pip install agent chat, sorry, Autogen agent chat, right? So again, we will not be installing like this. We will be following the best practices. So for that, very first thing, I will be creating an environment. So Python -m venv, and I can say Autogen crash course. So this is going to be my environment, everyone, which I will create. Let me first create that. Now the same has been created as we can see here. Let me quickly just also make sure that I can activate as well. And I have activated this particular environment, right? Now to install the same, we have created a requirements.txt file in which I will be writing Autogen agent chat, then Autogen core and Autogen ext. So these are the three libraries which you need to write, everyone, so that Autogen will be completely installed onto your system. Now what can I do? I can do pip install -r, and let me zoom it in a little bit, maybe, yeah, and requirements. So already this structure you will all be also getting, but here I have just added in the requirements file because I believe that will be very helpful as we go on and master each of these parts. Now once I run this, we can see that how the same will get installed onto my virtual environment, and we have installed the same, right? Now to explain you one quick thing, and I want that all of you focus on this thing very much, because if you use like if you do vibe coding or use AI a lot, let me just add a command here. Can you give me a code to create an agent in Autogen framework? So let us just see that what exactly it will give out to us. Okay, so it is giving us some code. Let us see this. Now, this is what I wanted to show you. Since this is very new, since Autogen has been, I think it has been just 3 to 4 months since it has been developed and moved to the newer version. You will see this pip install PyAutogen, and you will see from Autogen import assistant agent user proxy agent. Well, this is totally wrong, right? This is not the way of using Autogen since the latest version, the way Microsoft supported. So now let us go and learn a little bit more about this. If I go on to our visualization and we discuss about the very first one, which is Autogen installation, we have to install the agent chat core and the ext or the extension module from Autogen or PyAutogen. This is totally wrong now, right? This is something which is not being followed. So that's the very first thing which you have to avoid if you are learning Autogen in like Autogen as of the latest version, which surely you will be doing. Now to explain a little bit on what happened, Autogen was being developed at Microsoft only, and up till version point 2. So as we can see here, up till version point 2, it was all single. So this Autogen or PyAutogen, whatever you are seeing, and you will see many tutorials, many AI or code completion giving you this code only, right? It was all good, but in between it got split into AG2 and the version point 4. So there is no version point 3 in between. This version point 4, the one in green, is the one which is being maintained and now suggested by Microsoft. While AG2, which is a totally separate framework, right? That is totally different, nothing to now do with Autogen at least, is being maintained separately, much like any other framework like Creo AI, Google ATK, etc. Right? So I would like to show you that as well. If we go on Google and search for AG2, we can see that how this is a proper uh, like framework in itself, and it also has a GitHub link where surely it is also like it is having a 2.8k stars. And here we will see that how we have the way of installing this. Now it is like this, and I think yes, you can see from Autogen import. So may seem counter active, but yes, from Autogen this is totally wrong for the latest version of Autogen. Now the Autogen has been moved to the point 0.6 version, but ideally anything above point 0.4 plus is something which we can follow. Now we can go to the official page as well, everyone. From here we can go to the GitHub, right? So the official GitHub link, it is having 45k plus stars. And here it is showing that, okay, how can you install with Python 3.10 or later? So pip install agent chat and ext open AI. So I have installed the core module as well, which we will learn in as we go forward. Now, if I go back on our Autogen homepage, here as well, you can see that how it is still having the reference to 0.2 version. And let me click this. And now we can see how it is saying Autogen 0.4 has been released. Read the migration guide. This is the official project. We are not affiliated with any Fox or startups, which means that AG2 and Autogen, now they are not related to each other. And the code which you're vibe coding or any code completion client or maybe cursor will give, it can be based on a previous Autogen version, something to very strongly avoid. In the starting with version 0.4, we are seeing something known as the event driven asynchronous architecture for Autogen. So they have changed the whole way in which Autogen was kind of developed, and that is why we have to get started with the latest version, right? So this thing is again very important to understand, and that is why I have created this diagram. Please make sure that you don't do this. This is totally wrong. The thing which we have to follow, everyone, is this strictly. So from Autogen agent chat, where we will be creating our agents, right? So with this thing out of mind, now let's try to learn a little bit about this asynchronous architecture as well. And I will give you a quick overview of what it means and why it is beneficial. Now we can see that how in a event driven architecture, which is asynchronous, we are having the workflow something like this. So when we talk about synchronous, we have, let's say, two processes, right? So if we have two things which are kind of working, first it will wait for the whole process to complete, and then it will come back. So we can see that how we are having a call for process B, wait for response from process B. Let me zoom it in a little bit. Get response from process B, and then we can continue working on process A. So in a way, it is all synchronously working in order. So if let's say you send a request, you will be waiting for that to get back and cannot make another request till then. Whereas in a asynchronous processing, and this is something which is totally independent of Autogen, it has nothing to do with Autogen. This is a basic Python or programming concept in all. In asynchronous programming, when we make a call, then we can continue working on the process A as well. So this is actually process A and this is process B. It is vertical in nature, right? Now, since we can continue working, meanwhile, we can wait and get the response from B as well, which in a way means that, of course, it is a lot optimized. We don't have to unnecessarily wait for our responses, right? So, with the basic idea clear, everyone, now let me just show you a quick example as well. And we have installed the same. In line with this understanding, we shall also increase the async IO library. So, async IO is the library which we can use to make sure that in Python, we are able to properly achieve this asynchronous processing. So let me just again run this pip install -r requirements, and it will install the async IO library as well, right? So I think we have already seen about the overall installation, everyone. Here I have given you that what all are the libraries which we need in the very first thing in your requirement.txt. So maybe I can add a little bit more here. Add below to your requirements.txt. Don't use Autogen or PyAutogen, right? So these are the official links as well, which I have shown you. So the GitHub and the official homepage. After that, let's try to now understand a little bit on the async functionality because the same will be very much helpful throughout our crash course. Now let's understand the same by an example, right? So you wake up in the morning and surely you need a coffee and a bagel, right? So I can maybe draw a good person. So this is, let's say, you in the morning, all grumpy, and you need two things, right? So you need this coffee. So this is your coffee, and you need your bagel. So we can write bagel here. Now, in a synchronous manner, what you will do is you will first go and prepare your coffee. Maybe let's say it takes you around 3 minutes, right? And after that, once you have prepared your coffee, that is when you will go to bagel and create your bagel. So it will take, let's say, another 2 minutes, right? So 3 plus 2 in total, it is 5 proper minutes. The understanding is same here as well. Meanwhile, you are, let's say, preparing your coffee. You cannot continue any other process. You will have to start and complete it and then get back to your work, right? So this is the way through which synchronous programming happen. Let us see the code as well here. What I have done is, and again, you can just go through this code when you will get it, totally based on Python, as I said. I have created two functions. So just like we will be doing these functions, brew coffee and toast bagel, right? So yeah, we can just brew the coffee. It will take 3 minutes, let's say, and it will take 2 minutes here. Now, when I run this full code, let's see how much time it will take. So let me just run this and we can select the environment as Autogen crash course. Always make sure that you are selecting the right environment so that you don't face any problem here. And I have run the same. I think I will have to install the IPY kernel. Let me do that. So again, this is just all part of setting up. I have made sure that all the issues which you will face, I will also face so that we can solve that together. Now we see that, okay, how the coffee was brewed and coffee was ready, and how bagel was starting toasted and bagel is ready. And all of this took 5 minutes in total, right? So as the understanding is there, we cannot start like this. This is very akin to how you warm food in microwave. So you first put up something, then you take that out, then you put up the next thing. So microwave is also a very good example here of your synchronous programming. So where we can have a microwave like this, where we first put something, then we put some other thing. So that is how synchronous programming works. Now coming to the asynchronous version, which Microsoft and other frameworks are also following nowadays. In this, we will be defining our overall functions in a async keyword, right? Which in a way suggests that they can be run asynchronously. That is, if the one is running, you can easily start the other one without waiting for the result or the response from that particular function. Now, if you will see the code, again, we have done the same thing. We have the start time. We have started the time. Then coffee and bagel, we have called both of them together, right? After that, this is a way through which we call this. So await async IO gather, and I'm like combining both of these things. So this is my total task, right? Where I will be calling both of these functions. So now this time I will wake up. I will just, so this is, let's say, me this time, and I'm taking me as a little bit smarter for the timing. I hope you are all good with this. Now I can have a coffee here and a bagel here, right? So this is, let's say, my coffee maker, and let's say this is my bagel maker. Now what I will do, and follow the green arrow now, I will first go to the coffee. I will start the coffee maker with the button. Then I will go to the bagel and I will start that with the button, right? So I'm assuming that I have some high-end machines to create that. So yeah, my coffee will get like brew, and meanwhile my bagel will get toasted. Now what you can do, and I will be running this code not here because we face some issues in Jupyter Notebook. This is the exact same code where we have the asynchronous function this time. Now, what will happen, everyone? Pay attention. Since we have this coffee, bagel, etc., and result is there. Once I run this function, if I clear everything, Python, let me clear it again. Python, and I can just say first installation and 1.2 asynchronous run. So let me run this. And you will see that how both of them started together. First, bagel is ready, then coffee is ready. And after that, it took me all 3 minutes, which is, of course, a time is saved. So the idea is exactly the same in Autogen as well, where we will be able to make asynchronous call to our agent as well as other components. So we can save on that time, right? So I hope that this thing is absolutely clear, everyone. Now we have covered two very important things here. The very first thing is how we have to not fall for any vibe coding, any tool, any auto completion, and you have to install this particular Autogen agent chat as well as core and extension, which again we will learn more about them, and not this. And this is a very basic idea, like what exactly happened, how they split up, and I've shown you on the Microsoft website as well that how they are not related, in line with how the Microsoft says that it is a new event driven asynchronous architecture. And I'm not sure that what exactly AG2 people are doing if they are also asynchronous event driven. We are focusing on Microsoft Autogen, the one which now Microsoft supports. In that, we see that how we learned about the asynchronous architecture as well, which is of course going to be very helpful. Whenever we call our asynchronous function, they should be called like this. So you can see it here, async def, right? So I create a coroutine and we are just assembling all the functions and calling them all together. So this is how in the backend, right? This all thing Autogen will take care of you, but this is how it will happen in the backend. And many of the inbuilt functions and modules, they will expect that you will be calling them asynchronously, else they will give an error. Okay. So yeah, with that, I hope everyone, we are pretty much done with the very first part. That is our installation. So let me just maybe as a good practice, maybe we can mark a quick green here. So right tick. Okay. So seems like now we are done with installation. If you will be writing now Autogen agent chat, so we will be seeing that in the next part, how we can create agent using that. We should be all good. So now let's meet in the next part where we will create our very first Autogen agent, kind of like Hello World in a agentic AI world. Hey everyone, so welcome to the part 2 where we will be now understanding and creating our very first agent that is going to be like a hello world code which we write while learning any programming language. Now we have already installed Autogen and understood that how it is different from AG2. So that thing is going to be very helpful along with our understanding of asynchronous programming. Now, if I go and show you about the first Autogen agent, let us try to see agent chat API and the first Autogen agent. When I talk about the overall agent, like this is something which is kind of helping us to visualize our agent. I like to call agent as digital humans. So just like we are human beings, we are doing some work. AI agents are artificial human beings or digital human beings who do some work, right? Since the most important thing which we as human have is the brain, your agent also need a AI, a brain, that is a LLM or a AI, right? So that is where the understanding or the need of these LLM like GPT, Llama, etc. arises. So the whole idea is that we can create our agents if we can provide them a brain. Now, surely that will depend on different kind of agent, but for the timing, we are going to create a very basic agent which can help us to answer our questions. So let us go back everyone, and here we can see that how introduction to agent chat API with first assistant agent. So I will be following and creating these notebooks initially, and towards the end we will move towards the Python file as you get more comfortable. Because I believe with these with this headings and overall marking, it is a lot easy to follow, right? Now you will see that right now it is not able to find the libraries. Well, the reason is pretty simple. We have not specified the kernel here. So let us do that. And I can select Autogen crash course. That is the one. And yeah, seems like everything is kind of removed. We do need this .env as well. So let me just first add that into the requirement as a best practice. And I can now just run this again. So pip install -r requirements. This will just import the .env as well. Now, the reason that we want this .env is we will be needing some environment variables, and .env module is able to help us load that onto our environment. Now, the variable which we will be needing here is the OpenAI API key. Now, I am having a separate .env file where my personal key is present, right? Surely you can use your own key. So this .env example will be provided to you, right? Make sure that you don't make any mistake in the spelling or have any extra spaces or something, because that will fail your full agent as it will not be able to connect to its brain. So let us now move forward everyone, and we can see that how this load.env function is going to load your key onto the environment. We will get the key here with our environment, right? So let me run this. Okay, no module in OpenAI, right? So makes sense. We should have this module as well. Let me just add it here, OpenAI. And I think that there is one more module which we need to add to specifically connect to OpenAI, which is this one, OpenAI. So let me just, I will explain you this in the architecture and specifically in the model. So let us, for the timing, clear everything and do pip install -r requirements. Okay, so let me just get rid of this and let us install the OpenAI module just. And seems like the same has been installed. Let me close and go back. Now what we can do everyone, we can just run this again. Okay, my bad. No module name tick token. So again, another module dependency is there. Tick token. And I can just again run this. So seems like the same has also been added. Now I think it should be all good. And again, I'm just facing all these issues which you will also face. So we are solving it, right? As and when we face them. Once I have my API key loaded, right? Once I have also have this open AI chat completion client, now I'm going to connect to my brain. Now I'm going to use the GPT-4o model with the API key which it has loaded. And this brain is known as model client in the language of Autogen. So this particular thing, everyone, let me just add it here as well. It is known as a model client. Model client. So this is the same lingo which we will be using going further as well. Now, once I have this model client loaded, so we have loaded this model client from the assistant, from the agent chat API. So from Autogen agent chat agents, we can import this assistant agent. So this is the very basic kind of an agent which can help you to answer the question. It is having a brain, a most simple kind of a digital human which can do some work for us, right? So let me just create that. Here you will see that how we are providing the name as of now, just like we humans have a name, and we are providing the brain. If you want, you can of course provide with description as well. So we can just say a basic first agent. Of course, there are so many things which can be provided, right? So we will understand them as we go forward. But I can just create this agent and the same has been created. So in the backend now, Autogen has created this particular person for me to whom I can ask anything and it will be able to do based on its capabilities. For example, right now it has a brain, so it will be able to answer some of my questions. Let's see that. I'm just asking it what is the capital of France. Due to some reason, I find it this is the de facto way of doing this in Autogen. So yeah, let us run this. And seems like it has given us something, right? It has given us the output. Maybe I can copy this output, have a markdown here, and I can show you this output. Many things has been splitted out at the part of this output. In the backend, Autogen is handling that, okay, how exactly all of this will happen. So it is kind of a layer between your LLM or the brain and layer is Autogen, right? Which is helping you to connect to that. So this is what it has returned. First, it said that, okay, I have the messages, which is a list, right? So just like we talk to each other as human, you just think of this as a digital human. I asked a human that what is the capital of France? That's the very first message. You can see that how source is user and model usage again, because here no model was there, right? When I asked the question, we don't need any model here. So model you can just easily think of as a LLM. After that, it is giving us the time and everything. The content which I asked was what was the capital of France? And the type was text message. So just remember this as well, as and when how we communicate with each other, we can send each other a text message, a image, an audio file. In a similar manner, they are also communicating with text message. The output which we got was from the assistant. So this is the name which I have given to my digital human assistant, right? And it is saying that, okay, there was a model usage with the prompts and everything. And the answer is somewhere present in this content. The capital of France is Paris. It is saying terminate. We will learn more about this, but shall be fine. And the type is text message, right? So it is very important in the frameworks of agentic AI to understand these particular outputs because your all the logic will be based on this thing, right? When you automate, when you genuinely use these things, the logic will be based on this. Now I can show you this messages separately. So it is just a list. In our result, in a way, we have just messages, right? So this is a list. To now get the output or to now just get the answer. If you pay focus, we have two elements in this list. The very first one is my message, which I sent as a user asking what is the capital of France. And the last message is, of course, by the agent who gave me the answer, right? So for that, we use this minus one. Again, this is a very basic slicing of Python where I'm getting the last message. So I am saying, okay, from the results, messages, get me the last message and get me the content. Once I do this, I will be able to get the answer, which is capital of France is Paris. Maybe we can get a little more crafty. What is the capital of India? And or let's say USA, and write some more about the same. Let me now again run this, or I can show you this running separately so that your code is pretty fine. Make sure that this is Python, not Markdown, so it will run. And I can just quickly show you the output. So let it run. We will see what exactly happens here. The same is running. It is taking a little bit of time because again, it is just trying to now get more things out. So let me copy this and let us see this in code, everyone. Not in code, my bad. So I need a markdown here, right? Markdown. A pretty big message. Again, first message was from the user. What is the capital of USA? And write some more about the same. And it has given us in a easy to read, understand manner. So if I just show you the content, this is what it has given. Capital of US is Washington, DC, and some information about the same. Despite being the capital, it is not part of any state, operates as a separate federal district. Resident of DC have a unique political status, all these things, right? So this is again how everyone we can create our very first Autogen agent, just like a hello world thing. But yes, it can help us to answer question. Now, surely there are more agents as well, which we will learn as we go forward. So let's now go back and mark our part 2 as complete as well, because we are able to create our agent. Okay. So cool, everyone. Now let's meet in this third part where we will learn about the architecture. Hey everyone, welcome back. So let's now jump right onto the third part, which is the architecture. Now for that, let's first go into the official documentation again. We can safely close this one. This is not the one. And if I show you, let's say on the GitHub as well, there's a diagram which we will see and we will use as well. This is the overall architecture or the Autogen ecosystem, having all the details about our Autogen, right? So this, I just wanted to make sure that you understand that how it has different layers or different sub modules which we have installed as well. Now, if I go on the official website, you will see that this agent chat is the one which we are using. It is a high level API for building, and this is something which is suggested as well. So agent chat is the recommended starting point. Now the same is very powerful, on par with any framework, any other framework as well. And you can create awesome agent just by using agent chat. That said, it is built on top of Autogen core. So for advanced user, Autogen core event driven programming model provides more flexibility and control over the underlying components. So the whole idea is that Autogen has created an architecture in which it has given user more overall visibility and access of controlling each and everything. Though for at least, or at, I would say 80 to 90% of the case, Autogen agent chat has all the functionality which we use to create our overall agentic AI agentic AI applications, right? So with that, again, we have seen that how can we install the same. So that is, I think, pretty much done. We have also kind of created our very first agent. Now let's go back and let us learn about the architecture as well. Let me go here and I can show you the architecture in this as well. So as I said, everyone, this is the architecture, right? The overall way through which we tell this is a layered architecture. Like that is how we say it in technical terms, that how Autogen is having a layered architecture. Now, what do we mean and why it's a layered architecture? Well, just like we have breads of sandwiches one over the another, we can see that how the bottommost layer is the core, right? On top of that, we have the agent chat. Now, this is very much like how the core layer is abstracted, right? For example, there are many libraries in Python as well, which runs the code in C++ in the backend. Okay. But for us, the same has been extracted. We have a higher level API or higher level module, which we can use directly, right? So just giving you an example. Then on top of that, we have the extensions, much like how we have extensions in Google Chrome, right? So we can install those extensions and enhance the functionalities. So if I show you the extension part as well, everyone, we can see that how here we are having agent chat, core, and extension. That are the most, like that are the three layers, right? If I go on extension, it is having different extensions for agent models, tools. So these are something which we can use. I can actually go to agent chat, and if we go on models here, let me just show you. So this is the one which I was asking, that we could have installed this directly instead of installing Autogen EXT, OpenAI, and Tick token separately. right? So this is something which maybe we can also install into our system. So I will just have it maybe in the requirements. Although I guess there is some problem with having it like this. So surely we can see that, right? So overall, the whole idea now, everyone, is that since this is the way architecture is handled, we will be majorly focusing on the agent chat because, as I said, that is something which is recommended, which is able to help us in 80 to 90% of the use cases. Though occasionally we will be having some components which we will be taking from the core or the extension library. The whole idea is that this assistant agent as well, it has been created by the core base class of base agent present in our core library or core module, and on top of that it has been extended and has been created, right? So to understand this a little bit more, I have given you again a very good notebook which you can follow. Let us go through that side by side. I can close this. Coming to the Autogen architecture in depth, again, it is totally code free, right? And it is starting from version 0.4 because, as I explained you earlier, that is where the Autogen has drawn the line and everything has changed. So let's try to understand, everyone. So Autogen version 0.4 is a framework for building multi-agent AI system with asynchronous event-driven architecture. Key improvements over previous version include a redesigned core layer for scalability, agent chat, a simplified high-level API for agents interaction, extensions for integrating external tools and data. So I think these all are very straightforward to understand, everyone. And this is the again same diagram, which I can show you by zooming it out. Yeah. So this is the same diagram. Now you will see few more things here. You will see this developer tools where the studio, let me 1 second. Yeah. So where this studio and bench comes in. So we will be seeing this studio because it is part of Autogen, right? It gets integrated with this whole overall ecosystem and help us to create our agents for prototyping, right? Not the full end-to-end thing. I never believe that just by dragging and dropping we can create any production ready application. So let me refresh this. This is going to be the kind of a UI through which you can see the same, right? Now, post that we have the apps which we can also connect to this. So Magentic one is again another app. So if you will just search for Magentic one, it is by Microsoft, right? So the whole idea is that since it is in Microsoft, it is not Magnetic one, it is Magentic one, a generalist multi-agent system for solving complex tasks. So this can easily integrate with your Autogen. That is the idea. So Microsoft, right? In this, now we can see more things. So apps, pre-built and custom application, AG framework, core component and powering agent. So this is the core Autogen framework. And we have the developer tools, which can be used for testing and building, right? Now let's move forward. Magentic one, again, here I've just written everything. A pre-built application demonstrating multi-agent collaboration. Then it can serve as a reference implementation for developers. So I've just given the purpose, role, and the GitHub reference. Similarly, the your app here thing, right? We are more focused on this AG framework layer where we have the core, asynchronous event-driven architecture using an actor model, agent act independently and react to events, right? Supports parallel task execution for scalability. Agent chat, simplified building, conversational agent, that is something which you will be using. Predefined agent role. So we have these agents which are predefined: assistant agent, user proxy agent. Else we will have to define them from complete scratch, right? Something which, of course, for major of the use cases will not be required. And then the documentation, which we are also referring to. And extend functionality via plugins. So we have extensions for OpenAI connecting to Azure, connected to Anthropic. Similarly, for tools, etc., we have MCP, and all these things are supported via extension. So you will see that how by making this layered architecture, they're able to very nicely divide the whole thing, right? If it would have been a single, if they would have followed some other architecture, maybe it was not that clear. Now you know that, okay, agent chat is the one which I have to use, right? Core is the one which is at the core and the backend, which handles, which basically everything is defined. And extensions are the one where if anything I have to extend, that is where we can have the extension part, right? So let's now move forward and we can learn about this. I've also added for the bench and studio. So just you can read about this. This bench is something different altogether. And here we have the summary table, which is summarizing all the points. So I personally believe that this is more than enough. Now, ideally, we could also compare this whole architecture with other frameworks as well, like Creo AI, ADK, LangChain. But I think that is out of the scope for this particular crash course. But the whole idea is that you should understand from this diagram agent chat, the one which you'll be using, core where everything is kind of defined, from which agent chat has been abstracted upon, extension to enhance the functionality, Studio, which provides us, it is a developer tool which provides us a UI so that we can create our agents or we can use Autogen framework as a whole. This was the exact reason that in the last part we have created the agent from the Autogen agent chat, and which you will see at I guess 99% of the cases or examples once your LLM or your code completer become that smart. Okay. So though my code completion has ended, I anyway turn it off because in Autogen it gives a lots of wrong code, right? So yeah, with that, hope everyone you have the enough idea for the architecture part. Okay. So I have made sure to went through inside all the documentation and present this to you in an easy to understand manner. This is something which you can also go through as well, right? But I believe that what I've told you, that is way more than enough, nothing more than it is required with the part of this crash course. Okay. So with that, I think we can go back and I can just mark this as right again. So I can say that, okay, we are done with the architecture as well, right? Okay, everyone. So now let's move on to the next part. And now let's learn about agents in AutoChat in a lot deep manner. So first, let me explain you a basic idea so that it will be a lot easy to understand. Now, when we talk about agent in Autogen, like you can see and consider this here as a very good example of an agent. It has an AI written on this, hence the AI agent. But in a technical or in a layman way, you should just think of agents as a digital human and nothing else, right? Just like we are human, right? So let me just have this thing here. Yeah. So it's a digital human. Just like we have a brain, and we can have a tools as well. Now I will just discuss a little bit about these tools and we will be covering this after in a separate portion. But the idea is that we also use tool at any work which we do. Right now you are watching this video, you are using laptop and internet. If you want to, let's say, do some calculation, calculator is a tool which you use. Similarly, of course, if you have any apps or anything in your phone, all of those are tools for us, right? Now, it can very well happen that an agent, just like us, might not require tool for some task. Maybe it's just on the brain part. And it can very well happen that some agents, they also don't need brain because all they want to do that has nothing to do with the thought process or anything. It is just some instruction which they have to follow, right? So now let's learn a little bit more about this and let's go to the official documentation once. Here, if we go to agents, you will see that how Autogen agent chat, again the higher level API, provides a set of preset agents. The example of that we have already seen, that is your assistant agent, which are already made. Now the base agent class is present in the Autogen core, from which if you want, you have to properly define and extend that class and create your own agents if you want that. Though, as I said, the agents have been provided, so you will not be needing that. Now we can see that each with variations in how an agent might respond to message. All agents share the following attribute and methods. So this is something which is there in all of the agents, right? First is name, right? So a simple name which is an identifier for an agent. In Autogen, you cannot have spaces in between names as of version 0.6.1. If that changes in future, surely you can incorporate that. Second is description of the agent in text. So just like you will define a human, similarly, that is where this description comes into picture. Now, a note here, this description is not something which agent takes into play when it is doing its job, right? Now, what do I mean by that? Let's say if I have defined this assistant agent here, right? Now, the description will have no effect on how it performs its job. If I ask that, okay, you are a smart person and you help us to answer the question, no. Description should be just a one liner ideally, which defines what an agent does. For that, we have a separate overall argument, which is known as system prompt. So I will show you that. But yes, that is something which you have to remember. Now, the next one is run method that runs the agent given a string or list of messages. So much like we ask our agent to do something, or if someone asks you to do something, then there are technically two ways in which you can do a job, right? So I will just explain you with a proper uh, example that will be better. One is that, okay, if I ask you to, let's say, get some coffee for me, right? Just a simple example. Either you can do the full work and then come back to me, right? So you can just go make the coffee or maybe purchase it, and then come back to me doing the full job. So you run and did my job. Second is run stream, in which you will be telling me all the updates, right? So you'll be telling that, okay, I'm going, I have reached the shop, I am now paid, this is something which I have kind of ordered. So we will see the same in action as well, but they are very important. Via run and run stream, we can generally see that, okay, how our agent is performing. It can return you the messages as well in run stream. While in run, you will just see a single final answer. So let's say if your request takes maybe 10 seconds, or it has multiple agents, then in the run part, overall at an Autogen level, it will get completed and you will get the full summary together. Okay. So that is what it says. Method that runs the agent given a task or a string and returns a task results. Agent are expected to be stateful, and this method is expected to be called with new messages, not complete history. Now, what does that mean is, just like I ask you to get me a coffee, you have the state in your mind. So agents have a state. Next time when I ask you to do the same, you will remember that, okay, which shop or which coffee I like. It is not that I have to send you the full history. So that is what it is saying. You should not send the complete history. Just send the new message. Agents are stateful by default in Autogen, and they will remember that. Okay. Next is run stream, same as run, but returns an iterator of messages. That subclass base agent or base chat message followed by a task result. So again, it will be also doing the work. It will just send you the updates and send you the intermediate message rather than everything in the end. So the reason is pretty simple, that all of the agents which can be there, they have this thing. Because if you just think about this, any human, right, or any AI human or digital human, it will be having a name, a description, and surely you will be running the same, right? So now let's just try to see few more things. If I go on the API reference here, just pay attention, and I go on agents here, we will see that, okay, what all pre-built agents are provided to us. The very major one which you are going to use is the assistant agent. As the name suggests, it is going to assist you in task, right? So agent that provides assistant with tool you. So it can have a tool, it can have a model as well, so we can provide multiple tools to it. It can have a overall model context, so anything related to model. It can have a system message, which basically is that, okay, how you want it to behave, right? So that is all things which are provided to this agent. And of course, run and run stream, something which we have learned about. Similarly, we have the code executor agent here, which can help you to execute a code. Now it can or cannot have a mind, right? Then we have the user proxy agent. As the name suggests, it is going to behave as a user. So you can specify or send message as a user to this agent, right? We will be using this in human in the loop concept, if you are aware, or else we will be covering that as well in the separate part. The idea is that Autogen agent chat provides you by default some agents. And as I have said before earlier, 95% of the use cases you shall be pretty good, rather 99% of the use cases. Now you can see that how it has society of mind agent. I think this is something which they have recently added. Agent that uses inner team of agent to generate responses. Yeah. So they have added that recently, because when I think around zero point 0.5 version it was not there. Then we have message filter agent. We have the base chat agent, right? So all these different kinds of agents are present. And in the core as well, if you will go, you will find that how we have the core API, where the agent is like agent is an interface which you have to implement if you want to use them. Okay. So that was the whole idea behind agent. Now going back, we can see that, as I told, how it can have a brain and it can have a tool if required, right? Then we have the user proxy, code executor, society in mind, all these different kind of agents. And surely that library will grow as the new version arrives. Now let us go and see the same in action as well. Agents in Autogen. Let me select the kernel here so that it is able to, yeah, now it should be able to check everything. So let me zoom it in. So what all I'm importing here, pay attention. I'm just importing the agent, which is my assistant agent. Then I'm importing a OpenAI chat completion client from model. And I'm also importing messages, because that is how we connect with our agents, right? So doing the simple thing here, getting the API key, kind of a boilerplate code till now this is, I guess. We are just setting things up. I can run this and I will get the model client. After this, I'm also defining a tool as well. So I can just show you an idea that, okay, how the tools get used. This is a web search. Okay, so it's a custom function. Now I will cover that, okay, how different types of tools are there. But yes, a custom function can be used as a tool. It just find information on the web. Right now, I am just trying to dummy this particular call, right? So I'm not making a real call to the web. I am just trying to mock this call that I will ask my agent that, okay, go and use this tool to search on the web and it will directly get this thing only. So we are not going on Google or any search engine to search right now. We are just mocking this for the understanding purpose. So let me define this as well. Now, this is where my agent comes into picture, everyone. So I'm defining my agent. It is having a name. It is having a brain, which is model client. It is having a tool as well. So I'm just giving a web search as a tool. Now you can give multiple tools here, right? And we are having a system message, which is use tools to solve tasks. So this system message is something which will go into your brain, right? So when we talk or when we normally use chat gpt, if you try to give it some instructions in the starting that, hey, return your output always as an answer, and you are someone who is an expert in this field, so this system message is something which is kind of getting used there. Let me just mark it in green. This is on the basis of what your agent will be solving the task. Now you will see that I have not provided a description here because that's not a mandatory field, right? We can see the same here as well. If you go on assistant, we have the name and the model client. If we want like description, I can provide description, but for a single agent, it is not a mandatory field. So let me just say an agent which uses tool to help solve task. So I have not defined my agent as well, everyone. After this, I am just calling, pay attention here, await because it's asynchronous, agent.run. So I'm running this agent. Now the same has been defined. Find information about Labrador Retriever. So I'm just asking this agent. Now internally it knows that, okay, it has to use the tool. And since it has a brain, it will be sending something in this query, right? So it is not that the full task will go to the query. It will be sending something smart based on the understanding in this query. So let's see the result. Let me call this. And seems like that it has given us the Labrador Retriever, or simply Labrador is a British breed of retriever and go. Now I would like to show you a little bit more things here. Let us see the messages as well once. So result, or let us see the full result here. Now let me copy this again in the same manner we have understood it, and pay attention now. So again, seems difficult. It is not at all. Just try to break it one by one. We have multiple messages here. The very first one is this one. So it is your text message. That's your first message, right, everyone? And this message, in a way, continues till uh, here. Okay. So this is the very first message which we sent as user. We can see that as well, that we are asking this information. Find information about Labrador Retriever. Now, this is very important that you understand these things, right? It is not that our work gets over when we have called or got our answer. No. If you want to genuinely make a production level system which gets used, any agent which gets used and is actually helpful, you need to make sense of the output as well. That is very, very important. Now, second is tool call request. So as we asked our agent that, okay, solve the question by using the tool, it made a tool call request, and we can see that, 1 second, yeah. So let me just divide it. We can see that how in the query it just sent the Labrador Retriever. It has not sent the full task, right? It understood that, hey, the user want something related to Labrador Retriever, so it just sent this as a query. So if it would have been Google, this is what it would have searched on Google. Okay. Now we can see more things as well. We can see this function called ID. This is very important for your logging purposes, because this ID will be same here as well. See, so small things we have to notice in our working, right? This ID is same here. Then of course some other things for about the date, time, any usage, what was the prompt, etc. So after this we have got our answer in the third. So let me now just get it back 1 minute. Yeah, so we can just have it back fourth, and you can see that how this was tool execution event, where we were now simply calling the tool and we got the answer. This is the content. And final is tool call summary message, where it tried to just, it is now coming from our assistant where the no usage of model as of now, and we are getting our answer back. And if you remember, this was the final one which we were getting, right? So if you remember, result dot messages minus one, which means the last message, we were able to get this last message out, and this was the content here, right? I think this is, yeah, this is a separate one which is coming in the end as well, result. So we were able to get this content here, which was Labrador is a this thing. Okay. So that was the whole flow in which it happened for a single agent. Now, if this is clear, when we will learn about multi-agent, that shall also be very much clear. But again, the idea is go a step further in your understanding of AI and agents. Okay. So yeah, as we can see, this all kind of ran for us. Now let us do one thing. Let us try to see this with another way through which we can run it. That is the on message method, right? So in this, what we do is we will be sending it like a message, and let me run this and it will make a lot of sense, right? Let me run this. So 1 minute, yeah, we can see that how this time as well, it is just divided properly. Let me just show you this. Yeah, okay, not Python, my bad, Markdown. And we have the message source assistant, the final message which is coming in. This is the chat message, and we can just have the response inner message as well, which is this one. So this time we are separating out our messages. So this was the all the inner messages, tool call request and everything. And final is a response.chat message which we received. Okay, so this is another way of just running your agent. Now, ideally, I can go a lot deep into this, but for the overall purpose of this crash course, you can just understand that this is another way through which we run. Okay, now let us move forward and yeah. So this time as well, I'm just asking it a query via the tool. Let me just run this again. And okay, I think this is the same code I've copied multiple times. Yeah, this is, I guess, the same one, agent on message. Yeah. So this, I think I've copied multiple times. I wanted to show you this on stream one. Okay. So if you remember, we learned about run and run stream where I gave you the example as well. Now, once I go here, everyone, you can see that how this time I will be using on message stream. So I'm just running this message via stream now. Let me run this and it will make a lot of sense. This time it is giving you the full summary. So tool call request assistant, it is telling you that, okay, what happened? It is kind of very nicely broken and everything for you, right? So a lot better overall. It is giving you the summary as well. So ideally, we would like to run our agent with this methodology, not by the run, because it is difficult to make sense of run output, right? This time you will see that output is very much clear. It is broken as well pretty easily. We have the tool call request, then we have the tool call execution event, and then finally the assistant user message is not there. So that is how this runs. Now, as I said, for the timing, you should be good if you just understand that this is how we have to run it. We can just set the output stats to true so we can see the summary as well, right? But you can see that how good overall this is in reading. Then if I go back and let's say I see this one. So this I have to make a lot of sense for you, right? Where I was explaining this in depth. But normally this is a way better way of just running this. Now let me just check one thing. I think we can run it like this as well. So I can ask it, uh, what was the last question I asked? So let's see if it will still be calling the tool, because in the instructions we are very clear that hey, just use the tool. Let me run this. And seem like it is now having that context, it is maintaining that state, and it is able to give us the answer. So this was actually the last question which I asked this agent. So this does prove that point here, where it was saying that, let me go to agent chat and agents, that agents are expected to be stateful and this method is expected to call with new message, not complete history. So I didn't send it the message. I can normally do the follow up. That is the whole reason, whole idea of this. Just like if I have chat GPT, let me go to chatgpt.com. Just like in chat GPT, if I just show you some examples, let's say technical agent activated, something on that. Yeah. So this agent, I have just given the first instruction that, hey, always return an answer in JSON. It is having that context. So if I will ask it, it will be having the full summary or the history. That is the whole idea which this particular thing says. So we don't have to specifically maintain that or send it separately. Maybe that is case in some framework, but yeah, that is how Autogen maintains it. So yeah, we have, I think, learned a great deal. As of now, we have, of course, discussed about assistant agent, which is going to help you in, I guess, again, 80% of your task, because this is the agent which can use a tool. Like, it's the best representation of a digital human. It has a brain, it can use tools, it works on its own, and you can provide some instructions to it. So these agents are something which you can replace human with if you are able to make them very better. So as of now, I hope that you have the full idea clear. Now we will be moving forward, and in future overall parts, we will also learn about how we have the human in the loop. There also an agent comes. Then, as I showed you, we have the code execution agent as well. Again, that is a little complex to write and execute, but yeah, that can help you to execute your code. It can check in real time if the code is right or wrong. Hence, playing a role of it can play a role of a developer as well, right? So that's the whole idea, everyone. Now we have learned about multiple things in here. What is an agent? What are the multiple things which are the characteristics of the agent, like name, description, run, and run stream. Then we have seen the assistant agent and learn about other agents which are provided as a part of agent chat API. After that, we have run the same using run and run stream and saw that how it is coming. That run stream thing will be very much clear in the team as well when we will have multiple agents working. Okay. So just remember that concept. It will be tested, well tested in the team part, where you will be a lot more comfortable by seeing your output as it gets processed by each agent. Okay. So these are the things. Now let's meet in the next part where we will learn about the model or the brain of our agent, which of course has a very big role to play. So with that, everyone, now let's meet in the next part. Hey everyone, so now let us continue and learn about models in Autogen. And of course, they are super important to add memory, add brain to our agents. Now let me first mark this done because I forgot that in the last video. So yeah, we are done with agents in Autogen. Now, if you remember, I told you that how in an agent, we have a brain, which is of course a very important part. The brain is formally known as model in Autogen, and model client is the argument which in which we have to provide which LLM we are going to use. Now, I hope you do understand that these LLMs like OpenAI, ChatGPT, or Google Gemini, all these or Anthropic Claude, these are the one which can provide a thinking capability to our agents, right? So moving forward, we can learn more about agents like this. If let's say is our particular agent, here we have a model or a brain attached to it. So I like to say it in a very layman terms as brain because I believe that is the right word. Now this brain coupled with the power of AI can add thinking capabilities into my agent, right? And this can be supported by a different providers. So let us try to learn a little bit more about that by going to the official documentations. So in Autogen agent chat, we have the model as the separate section. In this, we can see that how in many cases, we need access to LLM model services such as OpenAI, Azure OpenAI, or local models. You can actually see what are the one which are supported in the right as well, right? So we have the OpenAI, we have the Anthropic, Olama, which is a local, which is a very good thing it is supported, and Gemini, right? Along with that, since it has OpenAI chat completion client, all the models or the LLM which do support or are compatible with OpenAI chat completion, they also are supported, right? So let's now move forward. We can easily log the calls if required using this particular code, but we are more interested in understanding that how can we connect to our models. So for that, we have the Autogen extensions library. Now in this extensions library, we have the models as a separate overall sub package. So if I go on the API reference as well, we can see that how in models, it is having OpenAI, Azure, Anthropic, Semantic, Olama, Azure. So again, these are the one which are provided. Now let us go back to models once. So we have to select that, okay, from Autogen extension models.openai, I am using the OpenAI chat completion client. Now this is something which we have seen as well. And here I can provide my model which I want to use. For example, I am using GPT-4o and I have the key for that as well. Now always remember this API key is something which is needed. If you remember, like in our case, we were loading this open API key from the .env file. If you want, you can provide it directly as well, but of course, that is not suggested because of safety reason. So this is how you can use the OpenAI, everyone. Now for this, I know that you need credits, and for this key, many students and people who are doing it for the first time, surely they will not be having this key handy, right? Because again, it is not always possible to load up, get a card and load it up. So for the same reason, I will be showing you two awesome ways through which you can run it for totally free. So you can do this full crash course and even more advanced thing in Autogen without having to worry about any money. So zero, total zero investment. Okay, I hope this is zero, but yeah, not three, zero. So in this, now we will understand about Olama as well. But for that, let me show you in depth about other offers, other offerings. So we have the Azure OpenAI, right? Here we can just install this first via pip and use that. And again, this is the code. Similarly, we have the Anthropic, we have the Olama, Gemini. Now, Gemini don't have any library as such. It gets supported via OpenAI chat completion client, something which I've already told you, right? So in this, next we will see about Olama. So for those who are not aware, Olama is a service through which you can run your local models, right? So you can get up and running your local LLMs locally on your laptop. And of course, that is very much helpful if you don't want to use any third-party providers. So for this, everyone, we have to install this. So let us first quickly do this thing. And I can just have a terminal. I can install this. Seems like the same is installed now. Here I've also covered about Gemini, right? How you can use Gemini. You can see that how it just requires a Gemini key and you can specify this particular model. So I don't have this handy now, but we can easily try it out and it will work. Coming to the Olama, let us first try to test out the model here. Let us use this code only and we can have this overall code run. I can just select the kernel. So Autogen crash course and seems like it has resolved all the libraries. So Autogen code models import user message. So this is the model message which we are going to send. Autogen ext models Olama chat completion client, right? So to use this, it is assuming that you have your Olama server running at 11434 port. So in your local host on this port, normally Olama starts your services. So for that, let's do one thing. I have the Olama running in my machine. I can just show you Olama, let's say run. Okay, I think it will require this Llama 3.2. And it is starting. So I have the Llama 3.2 model. I can just say hi and it will just reply for that. Who are you? Let me zoom it in so that it is readable. Okay, here it is. Yeah, so this is the case. Yeah. Again, I think I've zoomed in not correctly. My bad. Yeah, so it is able to message as you can see, right? We can clear everything out and I can say great. And yeah, it is just helping us out. Let us get out of this. Let me select this by and clear everything again. And I can do Olama serve. Okay, so it is saying address is already in use. Let me quickly solve that. Now you can also get this error, everyone. So it is very important to learn how can we solve that. We can do lsof-i and then we can do that it is on this particular thing, right? So 11434. I think I'm wrong. So we can see that how Olama is running here. Let me just do kill hyphen 9 and I can provide 3590. Let me now run this, or I think we can do this via button as well. No, Olama serve. Okay, I guess since I've started this already, it will be running on my local. Let me just paste this or go to my local host. Just a second. So local host, and I can have this 11434. And yeah, seems like it is running. So again, totally my bad. In Olama, when you start this, it gets started. I think this was in LM Studio. So there is one more, everyone, which you can try out. LM Studio, again, the same thing, just that it is a graphical user interface, GUI based thing. So it is something which I also use a lot. Now, since the same is running, we can just try it first out. So as of now, no agents or nothing are there, right? In this model client, I'm just creating a request and I'm just asking it a question. So let me ask this. And again, we have used a user message here. We have directly just sent a request to the model client. Okay. So no agent as of now, but seems like we are getting the answer here. We can see this. And yes, seems like the answer is with us, everyone. This is the answer. And it has also reached out to my Olama, which is running on the Llama 3.2 model. If now we want to use it with, let's say, a agent, what I can do, I can just go to agents here. I can copy my this particular agent and let me do one thing. So yeah, I can have an agent defined. Let's get rid of the tool and I can provide Olama model client here, right? So I can just remove description as well, not required. And we can just say that you are a helpful assistant. Okay, so I think now it shall be able to answer us. Assistant agent is not defined, totally makes sense. We can define that. So from Autogen agent chat, right? Dot agents, import assistant agent. So now the same is defined. Let me just quickly copy this as well. And we can maybe ask this question only. Let's see what information it has. And of course, like GPT-4o, it's a model on the cloud. It will be able to run, and it might be able to handle more complexities. But I believe that should not be a problem, right? So I think we should have asked high only. No worries. But okay, so it has kind of given a lots of information. That is pretty good. Now we can see that how this Olama, right, has provided us with this information. Now let's discuss about one more shortcoming or caveat here. That is that many students, they say that how they are not even having a good high-end PC on which local models like this can run, and many of you have a office PC on which it is not like allowed to just install Olama, right? So that is where I guess we have some limitation in terms of learning. So for that we have the next part which I have tried to worked out on the Autogen, and that is using Open Router. So for people who are not aware, it's an awesome service via which you can get a single API key and you can use all the models. So the idea is that as of now, you have let's say different key for OpenAI, different key for Gemini, different key for Claude. Now, what you can use via Open Router, one key, and you can specify which model you want to use, right? So, of course, they charge you on that. So it is not that it is free in here and you are paying that. But the good thing is that if you go and search free here, you will find that how we have many different models which are totally free for us to use. And of course they have some limitation, I guess like 10 requests per minute or something, we can check that, but you can use them easily, right? For the same, what you can do, you can create an account here easily. You can then go to keys and we can create a key here. So I can just say Autogen crash course, and I can create a key here, right? So I just need to now copy that to make sure that I can use it. It will be gone if I don't copy it. You won't be able to see it again, right? So I have this key, everyone. Now we can see this key here, and I can go to activity now to see that, okay, if I've used that or not. As of now, you see that we don't have any activity here, right? So let's go back and see this in action now. Let me open another file. So I've just done a simple step of getting the key via Open Router. I've explained you what exactly Open Router is. Now you can check this out at your end as well, right? Now let me do one thing. So let me first select the kernel here. I've selected the kernel. Let me load everything. So here as well, this is supported via our OpenAI chat completion client. So that is one good thing as well here. I can just change the key here. Don't again try to use mine. Although here you can, but still I will be deleting it. So this is the Open Router API key, and I will suggest to just check out the platform. It's a pretty awesome platform and gives you many models. Now you can see that how you have to define it. Now please make sure that you, when you will be getting the code via the GitHub link which I will attach, make sure that you use this code only. It took me a lot of time to get it working. Lots of GitHub issues on Autogen official GitHub repo, and few on their Discord as well. But yes, finally I was able to make it work. Now that is not actually in the documentation and not anywhere else also I found this. So let me now run this, and I've defined the model client here, Open Router model client. You can just for the time being ignore this thing. And I can just now, let me delete this. I can just now provide this to my agent again. So it's a simple assistant agent with the name, client, and a system message. And I can ask it the doubt. So let it run. And again, I believe that this is going to be very helpful for majority of you. No local setting, nothing. Just go to a website and get the key. And we can see that how it has given us the answer. Hey, how are you? Let me show you the answer. I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. Since I'm an AI, I don't have any feelings, pretty harsh, but I'm always ready to help you, right? So maybe we can ask it, who are you? Who are you? And who trained you? So let us ask this question. Although it's DeepSeek, so let's see what answer it will give. And I can see this as well. So let it load. Meanwhile, I hope you will do check this out. Let me refresh and show you that how we have a new entry now. So see, at 11:45, we have the entry for R10528, which means that yes, the call is going to Open Router and I'm not scamming you in any case. So until and unless they stop this access, you can just be very happy that you just now know a service which can give you these keys and you can try it out in different agent frameworks, right? So yeah, I think we have another answer. Let us see this time what it's saying. So yeah, it is saying I'm DeepSpeak R1, your friendly assistant and everything. I can refresh it. And I see another call. So yeah, that too. And again, the cost is zero. So for anyone who comments down that, hey, it is not working, I have shown you that it is totally free and it is not asking you for any money. And again, you can just use the free model here. So if you will search on models and go free, these are all the models which you can use. Open router works by providing you access via some providers, right? So the idea is that it has many models, right? So you will not be needing to locally host them, and you will also not need any credit card or anything. So it is again totally from scratch. It will not ask you anything until and unless you are using free models. The second you are using any paid model, surely it will fail and ask you for some money. So with all these models, though, I don't think that you will ever require that, at least in your practice. So, with that, everyone, I think you all should be a lot happy because we have seen multiple cases. So, we have learned that how we can use a chat GPT as the paid option for our brain or the model. We have seen the local Olama for those people who want to get everything on their system. And they're always kind of like, okay, I don't want to give my data. So, local is also supported. And finally, we have another very awesome service in terms of open router. Why you just get your key and you have multiple models which you can choose. Just make sure that you get that syntax from here because as I told you, it took me also a lot of time. So this is a best way of like running it, right? So with that, let's go and mark the fifth as well. Yeah. So let me mark this as done. And I really hope that you like the explanation and you have now three models and you cannot make any excuse that okay you don't have an API key or your laptop is pretty slow. All the excuses I have actually handled, which I see from students or freshers, handled in this brain part, which I believe is the biggest bottleneck whenever you're trying to learn AI, right? So with that, now let's meet in the next part, everyone, and there we will see about multi-modal and structured output, which will be a lot helpful or make our agent a lot stronger. Hey everyone, so now let's move forward and now let's learn about how can we make our model support more than just text messages. Now, of course, there is a very good usage of this. Anytime you are creating a extremely smart model and with the LLMs which are out there supporting that, I think our agent should also be that smart that it can read and learn about, let's say, different images or any other input which is sent to it. And that is where the multi-modal support is kind of thing. So I could just add, I think I've done a mistake here. So it should be multi-modal input. And I will be covering one more thing here, which is your structured output. So these are the things which we will be seeing and learning with respect to our agents first. Now the idea is pretty simple. It is not always the case. Like let's say if you are making a chat bot which is powered by Autogen in the backend, and we can of course have a single or multiple agent, then we can give our customer the functionality of uploading a image as well, right? Something which is very much there in let's say Swiggy, Zomato, or any other food startup, or let's say Amazon, Flipkart, or e-commerce delivery, right? So this is where the multi-modal input support comes in. The second is the structured output. Now, of course, I hope you know that till now we are a lot dependent because let's say this JSON is the format in which we are making our APIs in which the communication happens. So Autogen internally supports the way through which you can expect a structured response. And I hope you know that the same is very much useful in, let's say, in request or response to an API, then also in communication. So let's say if your model, it is behaving like an, it can genuinely behave like a single API where you are sending it some overall inputs and it is just responding you for sure in a JSON. So instead of asking in your prompt that please my life depends on it, please make sure that you give me a JSON only, these should be the fields, and then checking it in the end, it's a very good thing that via pydantic based model it is supporting this, right? So if you didn't understand, I hope you did, but yes, we will be covering this in depth as well. So let's get started now. Let's go to the sixth part. And the whole idea about multi-modal input and structured output, everyone, is that this particular model, which I have the brain, and of course, it must support this image input, right? So it is not that if you ask a 3-year-old child whose brain is not developed, that okay, what is this image? He might not able to tell you. Similarly, older models like GPT 3.5 Turbo, etc., they don't have that image support. And surely many newer models like Tiny Llama, etc., are not having that. So then it will not work. But models like GPT 4.0 and I think DeepSeek V3, the one which I showed you via Open Router, that is also having that, right? So the idea is that, okay, I can send it a image and it will be able to respond in text the way it normally does, or it can give me a JSON output as well. So which will surely be used in API, web app, or structuring of our output. So let us see the same in practice. Now, before that, just let me go and show you. So I think they are a lot overall spread across multiple places. So let me show you directly in the practice now. Let me remove this, and we can go to the sixth one. So first, let's check out on the multi-modal capabilities, everyone, with Autogen, not Autogen. So let me correct this first. Okay, Autogen. Maybe you can create a model which just corrects all your file names, right? That will be helpful. So yeah, we can imagine messages as the way agents communicate, like the how we text our friend. But again, 10 years back, there was just simple SMS. Now we have the way through which we can send the images as well. So when we communicate with the agent, sending a message when it responds, it to also send a message. And I've shown you that how we have a text message or user message as different kind of messages in Autogen. Similarly, so we have shown you here text message, image message, or tool message. So when it is communicating with the tool, it sends a tool message, right? Now again, you can learn about these different types in the API reference. And if I search for message here, these are the different kind of messages. A little out of scope for the crash course, but I don't think that it will be difficult. I think the major one which we should be knowing about is the text message, multi-modal message, chat message. These are the one, and like something which you'll be working on. Along with that, since we are on this topic, there is one very important, which is your task result. So we will be using that in future. So let me just show you that as well. Let me search it. Task result. Okay, I have to search, I think, outside. Task result. And don't worry, more you learn about Autogen, like even after the crash course, you will have idea. You will be understanding that, okay, what are all these? So this task result is also another kind of message, everyone, which we will be kind of using. So it kind of signifies that task has been properly done or concluded, right? So now if I go back into our code, let me just select the right environment. Always make sure that you do this and the errors will go. I am getting the assistant agent, as you can see here. I am getting the chat completion client, a text message, but this time multi-modal message as well, and this AG image, right? So what we will be doing is we will be sending an image. Okay. So first, let me just create our model, everyone. I think the model has been created. Then we have this assistant agent. Now do make sure that I am using GPT 4.0 here. Similarly, whatever model you are using, that should support your multimodal input, right? So let's now move forward and we can see that how initially I'm just asking it a simple text message, let it answer. It has just given us the answer that how Washington DC is the capital. So this was more of a test message that yes, our agent is in fact working. Now let's talk about multi-modal message in which we will be sending an image. Let me show you this image as well, everyone. So I can open this. So yeah, that's a cute black dog. Now, from where I'm getting this image, there's a website known as Pixum. Pretty useful for all your testing purposes. Like you can see that how it can give you images, right? So if I open this link, it will just give a image. I think, yeah, so it actually will be giving you different images. So first it was a bridge, now it's a cup. If I launch it again, it's some outside garden or something. The idea is that we can just get images for our testing. Now, since these are the width and the height, if we provide the ID, then we get the exact image every time. So if I will click this link, always I will get this black dog, right? If you want to do test it out, you can also do one thing. Where is the page? So we can, I think, browse images where exactly it is. Okay, let me just check. Yeah, okay, yeah, here's the gallery. So in this, there is an image gallery. Now you can do check your model with multiple different IDs. I'm just using the default dog one. I think that shall be helpful. So let's go back and let us ask our model that, okay, what do you see in this image? So the idea is that I will be creating a request. So I will be first getting the image. Okay. Then I will be converting my images into the bytes format so that it is able to understandable by my model. So this is the way through which we do that. We are using this AG image to represent my image. And then I'm sending in the content that what is in the image as a, and this AG image is the image which I'm sending. Source is user, and then we are just running this whole with the Autogen, and agent is also the same one. So we have this agent.run, the one which we asked this question. So let me run this. Okay, let it run. And we can see that image shows a black Labrador retriever puppy lying on a wooden surface. Let us do one thing as well. Let us randomly give some 150 maybe. Let me copy this and let us check what is there in the image here. Okay, image doesn't exist. That's not helpful. 15. Oh yeah. So it's something of a waterfall, right? Glad that I didn't give that much. Like didn't give the 150. And we can just run it. Okay, let it load. Yeah, and seems like image shows a waterfall cascading down between two rocky cliffs supported by greenery. These dogs are small and a small stream in the foreground. So yeah, I think this is actually able to be our eyes, and it can tell if something is broken in the image, in the image for our chatbot as well. So yeah, I think that is something via which we can support the input of an image in multi-modal. Now let's go on and see about the output as well. So the idea is again very, very simple. It is normally a requirement because these agents, they will be sitting somewhere inside your whole technical flow, right? You will be using this maybe with some APIs. You will be having or love having a structured response which you can process in the code. So for that we need structured output. Now these are something which are now majorly supported by every of the model, the newer one which are coming. So I can just select the right environment, then let me load everything. You can see that here as well I will be using the pydantic module. So for those who are not aware, just go and search pydantic. You can surely learn a little bit more about that as well. So pydantic is most widely used data validation library for Python, right? Pydantic actually also have a agentic AI framework. I think Pydantic AI, yeah. Let me know if you want a video on that. Do comment it out, and maybe I can teach you this particular framework as well. Now, let me close this. The whole idea is that I have now created a Pydantic model. So I've created a planet info, which is inheriting my base model from Pydantic. And I am saying that, okay, I need a name, which should be string. I need a color, which should be string, and distance miles, which should be integer, right? So these are the things which I have provided. Again, I am just creating a simple request. So model client I have created. In this, I am making sure to provide the response format, because understand, it will get processed in my brain. The brain is LLM. So LLM should know that, okay, it has to provide the format in this particular, it should provide the output in this particular format. Now, when I do inject, okay, 1 minute, I'm not defined this. So now we have defined this particular structure as well, everyone. Now, when I will inject this brain into my digital human, that is model into the agent, and I will ask it any question, it will be able to answer. So as of now, if you will see that I have just provided and asked it as well. Uh, Name is Planet Agent. Okay, I think I have done something. Yeah, my bad. Sorry. So we have actually done two things here. In the first one, I have provided this response format. In the second one, I have not provided this response format. So this one is the model client with exactly everything same. This one is just this formatted. So it is not having this particular context. Now, ideally, what we used to do before is something like this. But the problem was that it is not surety that you will always get the answer in the JSON format. And that used to fail a lot of system. I personally also have spent days on the 3.5 turbo model asking and begging it to always respond in JSON because my logic and everything was dependent on that. In a very similar manner, we have just used this we have just used this particular new agent where we are providing a structure, we are expecting a structured response. So let me use this. First, let me ask this agent. It is having the model client as unstructured. Let me run this. And now if I want to check it, let me just do one thing. Let me check this thing first. 1 minute, I can run this. And we can see that how it is giving it like this: JSON name, Mars, average distance from sun. So in a way, if you will see, it has not listened to me, right? Okay, that is, I forgot, that is the reason I have this code. It did give the name, but in the age part is messed it up, which I think is something which I cannot at all uh, afford, right? So it is very important to know that yes, your framework, it does support that thing. Now to do the same, everyone, I can just do one thing. Let me create my agent again. Let me provide the model client directly, and let me remove this. So yeah, this was the reason I actually included this. It has messed this up. So age thing, it has somehow giving average distance from sun. I have just run it normally. Now let me define this, and we can copy this whole thing. And once I ask this, let it run and see name, color, distance underscore miles. What did we provided? Name, color, distance underscore miles. So this is the reason. Now I wanted to actually show you this difference with comparison. I hope now you understand that why this is a very big thing for a model or my agent to support, right? Because my logic will tomorrow sit on this thing. Let's say I get this thing as my result here, result JSON, and now I will be running on this result JSON, right? So result JSON. The second I try to get something like age here, I think age we have not defined, sorry, color, it shall work. Sorry, my bad, result JSON dot. I think we have to get it or convert it to JSON maybe, because it is a, yeah, it is a string as of now, I believe. So totally okay. We can just maybe convert it to JSON. So you can do that. But the idea is that here my logic, if it is dependent on this age, it will fail here. But in here, I am always sure that, okay, I will get what I'm asking. And one thing, if you will notice, we are using a very strong overall client. GPT-4o is by no means an model which is very, let's say, weak in learning or following instruction. But still, it is messing it up if you are not providing the exact structure. So yeah, that was all, everyone, with respect to our multi-modal input capabilities and the output capabilities in JSON. So if we go back, we can see that how we saw that we can pass the image. Let me have this. Yeah, we can pass the image. Our agent will be able to handle that, and it should also support this. So yes, that is something which will happen, and we can get the response any way we want, in a text the normally way we are getting, and in a JSON as well. So that is where this multi-modal input and structured output is useful. The reason I have included this is because this will be used in your applications when you do make applications in your, let's say, work using agentic AI. And I want to make sure that via this crash course, you are having the full idea about Autogen and what are all the basic or required thing at least it supports. So let's go back, and I think we can easily mark part 6 as done, because yeah, we have understood the same in depth as well, and this is done. Now let's meet, and then we will take things up a lot of notch and learn about teams in our Autogen. Okay, everyone. So let's now jump on to understanding about teams in our Autogen. I think we have a very, very good and a solid ground till now. We have understood each and everything before directly jumping on multi-agent setup, right? So now let's see that what exactly are teams. As the name suggests, teams is when multiple agents are working in a application, right? So let's see this team thing. Yeah. So this is a team, everyone. Now, up till now, we were seeing them separately. Like you must seen this agent somewhere, then this agent somewhere, and this agent somewhere. The whole idea behind team is that we can now divide the expertise of these agents separately. And if you think, this is very logical thing, right? Even we as human workers, we are not able to do everything, right? So it is always the case that yes, we have teams in which one person knows something, other person knows something, talking coming to development, we normally have teams where one person is a backend developer or an expert, another one is, let's say, a front end expert, and this person is someone who works in a product management side. So the idea is exactly the same again, that we will be creating these teams. And when you divide your agents based on their expertise, and of course, we can have different types of brain for them. For example, we can have the OpenAI one for generic tasks. And if we feel that, okay, Claude models are good for coding, maybe we can have that in the middle agent who is going to code. Or we can say this particular agent. And if we want as well, we can have this agent as a code executor agent, which can just execute the code, because now it's a totally separate kind of an agent, right? So instead of we putting up our heads into how to connect these agents with their input and output, any framework, and of course Autogen as well, it do supports teams inside it where multiple agents can work together. So let's go into the documentation and agent chat, and we can see teams here, right? So again, the idea is creating a multi-agent team or simply a team using Autogen. So we will first learn that, okay, how we can create a team, then how to observe, etc. So we will be learning all of these things, but the basic idea is that given a single task, the whole idea of this team is to make sure that they can work collaboratively and they can provide us the answer. And of course, multiple agents, they will be better than a single agent in doing a task which is complex enough, right? So if any task is there which is very complex, which has multiple things, we will be using team only in that. And these are actually the thing which you will be creating. It will be very less that you will be creating a single agent. The reason is pretty simple. A single agent can be like, if I talk about an LLM kind of an agent, you can directly maybe use LLM as well. Of course, many things will not be supported, like tools, etc. So this is where framework comes in. But teams are where any framework and Autogen especially shines, right? This is going to make it a lot more powerful for you. So let's now go back to our coding part, and we can go here, and we can first learn about multi-agent system. Let me select the right kernel and close these things off and select the kernel. Yeah. So a team is group of agents that work together to achieve a common goal. So pretty simple thing. They are going to work together and help us achieve a common goal. Now you can just see that how we are just getting all the things for the timing. We have the model client. Now, if you want, you can have a model client 2 here, which, let's say, maybe Olama or Open Router or Claude or Gemini, because this, like, many students have this doubt. Yes, your agents are still a separate entity. Like, for example, I think in Hindi and English, so my model is different. You may think in some other language, so your model is different. And the way we will be thinking, that is also something where we can totally have a different approach. And that is, I think, what makes us unique and, like, maybe a lot stronger in itself. So yeah, we can define multiple things and we can use them. Now, very first thing you can see, and this is something which you have to understand, we are just using a single agent here. So this is something which we have seen as well. We are just using this simple single agent, and we are asking it to like give us something, right? So we are asking it to write a story about a brave knight and a dragon, up to 500 words. I should have made it up to 50, because more the words, more will be the model usage, but no worries. Let it run. And seems like it has given us the answer. Now let me make it maybe 50. The reason for that I will tell you. Let us make it 50. And again, it has given us a smaller poem this time. And we can see that in a land of whispers, Sir Elric faced the fear dragon Zephyr atop Mist Peak. So yeah, it is able to give us. But now the idea is that who will review it? Like, if it's good or not. Can we have like, if I will ask this agent only, then maybe it have biases, because again, it is the only one which is producing it, much like our model. Like, again, the idea is that, let's say, this model which is producing it, it will be having this kind of a learning only, right? Maybe I could have some better model who is good at writing or reviewing tasks, and I can use that to review what has been written. So that is the whole idea, everyone, of using teams. And again, multi-agent system, we can have, they each can be of different type, they can be of different, they can be using different tools as well, right? So as in when we will be going forward, create our projects, we can surely have those kind of agents as well. Now let's see and learn about multi-agent team approach. So the initial thing which we have done, we have created three agents. A plot agent, you create an engaging plot for stories, focus on Pokemon's journey. Character agent, you develop character, describe the Pokemon and the villain in detail, including their motivation and background. So you can see that how now I am able to focus on a very specific part with my agent. Something the way it happens. You cannot have someone who is a jack of all trade doing everything properly, right? So yeah, that is something which we cannot do. An ending agent which is going to just work on the ending. So it will be having the context. Now in a team, the context is shared and all of them like this will know that okay, character agent, it will know that yes, this is the plot which I has been given to me. Similarly, this ending agent will know that okay, this is the whole story. I have to now define an ending and we will be giving them a single task and all of them will work and give us the output, right? So before we move forward, many of you might be thinking and let me explain you that as well, that how do team operates, right? So let me just take a little bit of space here and try to explain you that. Now the way team can operate, everyone surely can be in different manner. So for example, let's say this is my agent. Making going to make it small. So this, let's say, is my agent, which is a plot agent. This is, let's say, my story agent. And similarly, this is, let's say, my ending agent, right? Now comes the question that, okay, how exactly are they going to collaborate and work with each other? And if you think about this, this is how we also can think about, like, there are multiple ways through which they can work, right? Now, it may happen that first, I am asking you to write the full story. Then I believe all of them should be able to work, right? If let's say you have to create a full application, maybe then the product manager will make the full uh, PRD or the requirements. Backend engineer will make sure to create the backend, and front end engineer they will work on providing the full front end part, and we have the application ready. Or it can also happen that someone comes to your team and they just have a doubt regarding backend. And let's say if I am the backend engineer, then I will have to just only answer this doubt, right? I don't think that it should go through product manager or the front end developer as well. So with that in mind, I've just discussed about the two most common use cases. And those are the types of interaction which you are going to learn about as well. And they are very logical in understanding. The first way, everyone, is where we have a round robin team. So if you just think about this, let me do one thing. Okay, yeah, this is the problem. One second, everyone. So yeah, the very first one is going to be round robin team. Now this team can be, let's say, something like this. Okay, arrows are always a problem here. So we have to delete this one as well. And now I can define them. This time I will be surely right. Yeah. So let's say this is my first agent. Then this is my second agent. So let me just write it down as well. So this is going to be my first agent. First, then second, and finally third. Right. So I have these three agents, everyone. Now what can I do is the task will first go to the first one. Then it will go to the second agent, right? And it depends now. Like this is with respect to Autogen in general. Like we, if we want, right, we could send this further back in a loop to my first agent again. So that is the whole idea that we can now send it back to my first agent again. And it is going to work totally well, right? No problem at all. It is going to work totally as we want it. Another way of doing this, now let's first learn about this much in depth, this one in depth. So this way of interaction is known as round robin team, and this is genuinely the team which you will be defining the most and working the most with. The idea is pretty simple. Anytime we are making any system, we think linearly, right? So somewhere your let's say first agent will work, then the second, then the third. That said, of course, we can have cases where this kind of team might not cut it, the approach or the doubt which I talked to you about, the second one, right? So let's see this now, everyone. Here we can see that how agent chat supports several team presets. Round robin group chat, a team that runs on a group chat with participant taking turns in round robin fashion. So let us see the tutorial. So again, in the team, you will see that this is kind of default kind of a team which it has supported. So we can have multiple agents defined. Now here is it is having the primary agent, and on the same time it is having a secondary or critic agent, right? We will see about what exactly other things are, but the idea again is that once you are defining this team in this manner, round robin group chat, we can have primary agent here and the critique agent here. Okay. First, primary agent is going to do the work and then critique agent. So let us try it out as well, everyone. Now I have defined my agents here. Let me define it again. Yeah. Here I have mentioned round robin group chat is a simple yet effective team configuration where all agents share the same context. So this thing is very important to understand that how my agents, they will be sharing the context. So if the first one, that is the pilot agent, oh sorry, plot agent, it gives me the plot, the character agent will be having the context that yes, this is the plot which I have to work on and create the story. Or sorry, create the characters. So this is very, very helpful, of course. And this is where I guess we should be very thankful to these frameworks, because doing this without frameworks are very difficult. Let's say you are working on, so again, to like dumb it down a lot, you can just think that, okay, you are using OpenAI and you are using Claude. So you asked OpenAI to write some code, then you go to Claude and maybe you are testing the code out here. So you will have to give the context again that, hey, this is what I asked it to do, and this is the code it has provided me. So I hope you understand what was the problem in that kind of a setup, right? They have the overall shared context. Now let me define the team. You can see that how in round robin group chat, you can provide participants as the argument. Your autofill, okay, so your chat completion, it is going to give agents here many times, and you will be scratching your head thinking where is the problem. Well, the problem is this only, that it is participants, right? So yeah, you will face that error, believe me. Once I've defined these, everyone, let me maybe have this separately. Have this thing. Yeah. Once I've defined this particular team, I can just have this team and see what exactly in here. So actually, I have multiple things inside this. So we can say that, okay, what are the agents or something? Okay, yeah, no, I think we had that. So we can have the component description, label, type. Maybe let us run this. So it is a team and it is a round robin group team where we have three agents. Now, what this max turns three means here, everyone, is that this particular team, it is going to take maximum number of three turns, not three circle. That is something which might be there in other framework. In Autogen right here, first, second, third. If it would have been four, it would have got another chance. So max turns means three turns. Well, max turns means number of time it agents will be kind of executed. First execution, second execution, third execution. Right. So let us run this, and I can just test my team here. Write a short story. Write a short story. A brave boy and his Pokemon. Keep it up to. Let me make it 50 words only, because else it will be a lot long. Right. Let us now run this. So again, the idea is that now I will tell you that run stream will make a lot of sense. Pay attention. It is running, but it is not showing you any output. So it is team.run. Task is equal to task. I have given this particular task as a text message. And we see that final output you got after 19 seconds. So I could not have stopped it in between if something wrong was happening. And it is like that example, if you remember. I asked it to get a coffee, no communication whatsoever, went and get me the coffee. If it would have been a lot longer kind of a flow, which I will show you, it will of course be very irritating, because we will just get the output maybe after 1 minute, 2 minutes. But meanwhile, let us see the output, everyone, if that is pretty nice. And seems like, okay, it has chosen Charmander. So I asked this user, now this user is outside, okay, it is not the part of max turns. First, it went to plot writer, then uh, it went to character writer. Now I have just made sure to make it a little bit smarter. So we have this source in team, and then we have the content. In the agent, we didn't have anything like this. Now we have the source and we have the content. So you can just see the code and you will understand this. Here, Plot writer has given us a very good plot. In Lumina Town, young Kai and his fairy Charmander venture into this. Then we have worked on the character overall. So Charmander and the Master Umbra face to face. And where is, yeah, 1 minute, let me check. Where is the last one? Okay, just a second. Where is the last? Yeah, ending writer. My bad. Now we can say as Kai and Charmander celebrated their victory over Master Umbra, the burned shadows began to swirl and reform, revealing a hidden message in the groves, ashes, etc. Right? So this is again what we have got in the output. They are working one time. So let me just mark it somehow. Yeah, this is the first one. This okay, sorry, this is the second one. A lot of big output, right? First output, second, and we have the ending writer. Okay. Now, on the same time, if I give max turns equals to 6 and now try to run it, pay attention. I hope you all understand what exactly it will be. So let me run this. It will take a lot of time. They will be getting two turns each. So first the plot, then the character, then the ending. Similarly, plot, character, ending. Now in this, ideally it is useful when you have a reviewer kind of a flow. So we can have this person who is writing something, this person, let's say, who is reviewing it, and this person who is summarizing all the changes. Now, when it will go back to the writer, it will make sure to accommodate all those changes. And your prompting should also be very strong here. If you make an error or very weak prompting, you will see that they are not behaving nicely. Just like how, if you're working in a team, we need to have a very strong understanding, right? Between us that, okay, how this one will be working, how this one will be working. So yeah, we saw that after 13.5, it came out pretty quickly here. We have got our output. Now I'm like, we cannot just going inside this, you can get the same. User, then plot writer, character writer, ending writer, plot writer, character writer, ending writer. But you can see that how more or less it would have taken in the idea. So this ending is something which now plot writer would have kind of inculcated because it is having the context. And the character writer, maybe it would have made it a little bit better based on the plot with the ending. Okay. So that is the way through which you can run a round robin team, everyone. Now let us see. Let me show you one more thing. So this is again the comparison in, let's say, single agent versus a multi-agent. That how creativity is very limited to one viewpoint, diverse ideas from each agent, depth, flexibility, and setup effort. So again, it's a little bit effort of defining it. Let me show you one more thing. If I go back and if we run the team, so we have ran the team, right? In via this particular thing, team.run. There is another way through which we can run our team, and that is again run stream only. Now this will going to make a lot of sense, right? So let me add another code now. So team.reset, async for message in team.runstream, write a short poem about the fall season. This task result is something which we will have to import. I told you about that as well from Autogen agentchat.base import. Okay, I think this is base and something as well. No, import task result. Yeah. So it is an Autogen agent chat base. Now I'm first resetting the team. So again, once I reset the team, it will not have any idea. If I normally run the team again like this, team dot run, let's say, it will be having the full idea that okay, what all has happened. Resetting just delete all the context. Just like let's say a new chat in ChatGPT where no context is there with multi agents. Now, when I normally run this team, and let's see that again, this is totally different, but you will see this coming as and when they are done. So, source user, source plot writer, like as soon as they are done with their work, they are just giving me the output. So, that is the whole aim, that is the whole idea. And you can now create those use cases and agents or team where you are having multiple things to check. You can have these tools in your agent. So, all those basic kind of project which you see regarding agentic AI, that is something which you can handle here. And yes, we can see that how ending writer is working now. Plot writer again, all the things they are showing you. So it is having again lots of content. That is not the problem. And it is able to give me out anything, right? You can learn about more on the team that how this happens. One thing more, you can have a single agent team as well. So there are many benefits of this as we will see in future. there are like now we will be working extensively with teams, right? So we will have multiple things which team provides. Autogen, it assumes, or I think it is logical as well, that you can have a single person or a single person team, right? Now, the benefit of that, if you remember, when we were running our agent, we could just run it one time. So when we used to do agent.run, it used to not run two times, right? But in a team, we can have like round robin team, for example, we can have a maximum number. This 1 minute, what was the thing? So I think max turns, right? Yeah. So we can provide this max turns to be two, and it is going to run, let's say, multiple times. Let me show you that. So don't get like all messed up in the lingo. Like we can have a separate kind of, we can have a single person team as well. So let me just define it as team two so as to not mess up anything. Now I can just have this code and I can just do team two, and I think it will run, right? So source user, my message, then we will have a plot agent, and again we will have a plot agent. So a single person team, but it can run multiple times. So this is just one of the power of single person team or team in general. We can have more things as well. But yes, this is where your understanding and everything gets a lot solidified. And this is where I believe 80 to 90% of the use cases on the web are getting kind of handled, where we create multiple agents in this kind of a team. So it gives you this top reason as well, everyone, maximum number of turns to reached, because you were able to catch that. Here also it is saying this is actually the task result. That is why we are able to mention that. So in the task result type of a message, we get this message dot stop reason, right? If I just show you the message as well, because again that is important. Let me show you the message. So this is the last message because it ran, then it ran again, then it ran again. And finally, I have the task result from which I got the context. And it is just saying that, okay, what exactly happened? Yeah. So it is having all the message and everything, right? Now, let us move forward and let me open another file here. So this is a little advanced concept, but I will still explain you because I want that you don't feel confused. There is another way or another type of team. Now, for that, again, it is an advanced concept, but let's try to learn that. It is a selector group chat, right? This team is known as selector group chat. Let me get this image and try to explain you what will happen. So if I choose this selector group chat, everyone, then in this, what happens, as the name suggests, it will be selecting an agent. So let's say if we give it a task, then a selector will be here, right? It will also be having a brain, because just think about this. If you have, let's say, three teachers, history, geography, and maths, and a person is sitting outside, right? You ask that, hey, I have a maths doubt. This is not a round robin team. That person should also be a little bit smart, right? It should understand that, yes, this is the agent where I should send it, right? So this is where this kind of a team comes in, where it will be sending the overall uh, task to the agent it seems most deemed fit, right? And one thing more which I'm telling you, which is very important, that in this, name and description become a lot important, because from the name and the description only, it will be able to tell that, yes, this is the particular agent whom I should send this request to, right? So up till now, it was totally fine if you are not giving the description. The second you come into, let's say, this particular case where we have the selector group chat, we should be having a description as well. So a little bit of caveat. Now here, I have actually created this example, everyone, which is a little bit advanced. But the good thing is that if you will go through this documentation, you will be able to understand the same, because it is the same example. But since it is a little advanced concept, it requires a lot of more in-depth thing to understand and work it out. We can see that how it is having this tools. So we have multiple agents here, each having its own tool. And then the whole workflow is kind of explained that how it will happen, right? Just one thing I would like to show here. that when I do select a selector team, select a group chat. So earlier one was round robin group chat. I give it the participants, which I think makes a lot of sense. So all of these are participants here, the planning agent, the web search, and the data analyst. So these are all the participating entity. Now, again, just like history teacher, geography teacher, math teacher, I give it a brain as well. So it is the model client. Okay. So it is having a brain as well. Then I provided termination condition. So this is something which we will learn about. It is the next topic. I give it a prompt as well. So I say that I tell it that, okay, how do you have to select? What are all the things which are there at your disposal? Like, what are all the agents you have in a way? So, for example, again, if I have a person sitting outside, he should know that, hey, you have these 20 teachers, right? Maths, geography, and your history. It should have their descriptions, etc. Right? So, these are all the things which are kind of required in selector group chat. It is not difficult to understand. And it will be easier with the knowledge which I have shared you will be able to understand that, right? But with the like overall, with the length and with the crash course in mind, I think you can just run through that example yourself. Do ask me in the comments and I will clear your doubts as well. Now, with this all thing provided, there are few more things. If you can allow repeated speaker, so this is again very logical. You can very well have, let's say, a generic agent as well here, right? So a generic physician or a general teacher or your sports teacher who think he knows everything. Not sure how it is same across all the schools, but yes, it should not be the case, right? Every time it is sending us here only. So every any doubt you ask, it is sending you here. So that is why we have the allowed repeated speaker here, which we can make false, and then the speaker will not be repeated, which I think is very much in depth and totally understandable approach. So this is again a second way of doing or interacting in your team, everyone. Now, surely there can be different ways. There can be you can create your own as well, right? But the idea is that with these two, you will be able to handle most of your use cases for sure. We have actually Swarm and Magentic one as well. Then we have this graph flow, which we can create our own. But as I said, they are a little bit kind of an advance, though you will be able to understand them if you go through them yourself, right? But there are many different ways as well. That is something which I want you to understand. A little out of scope with respect to the crash course, but yes, you should be aware that your agents can interact in multiple ways inside a team, right? So, with that, I am pretty sure that in this long session, we have understood about team in depth. I have majorly told you that, okay, what is a team? Why do or why we might require it? We have ran the same using run and run stream to see the output as it is coming, and of course, like once at all as well. Then we also understood a little on this function, so how we can run, how you can reset, stop, all these things as well. You can do, right? You can resume a team. So teams are having context. You can just normally ask to run it again and they will just run. So just give it another task and they will be having the context, right? We also learn about single agent team as well. So I think that is also clear. Now, before we move on to the next thing, let me do one thing and you will understand the requirement of next part, because I believe that context is very important for us as well. If we see the round robin group chat, we see that by default max turns is none. And one thing more, so you can totally not provide it, right? So let me do one thing. Let me make a team 3. And here I'm not providing it. I've just commented this out. And I will be now running this team. So I run this team. And let me do team 3.reset, team 3.reset, and let me run this. So a team which is running where we don't have any max turns. So it was pretty logical that yes, okay, they will speak one time, they will speak two time. But of what if we have not specified that? What many of you are thinking, yeah, they will keep on speaking, right? So it will keep on running, unfortunately, because it don't have any max turns. It is none by default. So yeah, it will happen. It will just be running indefinitely and charging you a lot. And in production use cases, it will not be able to help you find your answer. Now the same problem arises if you have a selector group kind of a thing, because there is no logic of max turns, right? You cannot say that you will get your answer in 5 turns or 7 turns or 8 turns. So those things are not there. Though what we have is we have a brain inside these agents. So we will try to see if we can use that somehow. And that is where we will be learning about termination condition. As the name suggests, it will help us to terminate our team, right? Now, very useful across single agent team as well. And these are the kind of things which you can use in single agent team. But they will be a lot helpful. So I will have to restart it because it will keep on running else. I've restarted the kernel. Now you can see that how it is keeping on running, right? So in the next part, everyone, we will learn about termination condition, which will help us to avoid things like these in our round robin team or in our selector group chat, or rather for that matter, any of the team, right? So let's now go and mark the team as done. And it is the most important thing. Now, everything which we will be discussing, that will more or less be in lieu of the team only. Okay. So that is very important to understand. And we will be creating teams in Autogen or any framework as well, to be honest, going forward. Single agent is good for just checking your work out, but there as well, we will be now shifting towards team creation rather than thinking in terms of agents. Okay. So yeah, let's now meet and learn about how we'll be handling this kind of a situation. So now let's move on to the eighth part, everyone, where we are going to learn about termination condition. Now we saw that why we might require one in the last example where we had a team which was not stopping as we have removed this max turns argument. Along with this, you have to understand one more use case. Like we can have this max turns maybe set to 10, but maybe the team is doing the work or is able to do the work before that. So maybe in 3 or 4 turns, it is able to do the work, and vice versa as well, where we have set the max turns at 3, but still the work is not completed. Now, this is with respect to round robin group chat. Surely, with respect to other teams as well, other group chats, there will be similar kind of problems. And that is where termination condition comes in to help us in determining when the team is going to stop. So let's learn a little bit more about them. Now, if I go on the documentation, we have the termination defined here. So we have explored how to define agents and organize them into teams that can solve tasks. So yes, we have done the same thing. However, a run can go forever. Yeah. So we also saw the same. And in many cases, we need to know when to stop them. This is the role of termination condition. So as the name suggests, this is termination condition. Agent chat supports several termination condition by providing a base termination condition class. So there is a class which you can inherit and define your conditions. Though there are many inbuilt as well, which will be able to again handle most of your use cases. A termination condition is a callable that takes a sequence of. So this I will make it easy and install, like explain you. But let's quickly summarize it. The whole idea is to make sure that we can make our team stop based on some condition. Now, what can be those conditions? Let's try to see them one by one. Two things to understand here. They can be combined using and or. So we can have multiple termination conditions. They are stateful, but reset automatically after each run. So once the run or run stream is finished, they basically will be resetted, right? They can be used again. So now let's see everyone, what exactly are the termination condition. Built-in termination condition, as I said, they will be more than enough for many of our use cases. The very first one is max message termination. Stops after a specified number of messages have been produced, including both agent and task message, right? So I think this is the easiest one of the lot. Let us try to quickly use it and understand once. Now, if I go back into the termination condition, so this is again the same file where let me set the kernel. Yeah. So I think I can remove these things before, because we are just interested in the termination condition part, multi-team approach with termination condition, right? This makes a lot of sense. Now we have defined our agents. Okay, totally my bad. So let us get some imports. We just remove those imports as well, right? So yeah, surely this will be needed. I need to have the boilerplate here. And we will be needing, yeah, this as well. So we can import this, and I believe we can very well use the text message, and the same shall be fine then. So let me close this one and close this one. Now everything is clear. We have the assistant agent. Now what I can do, I can just have a plot agent, which is my type of assistant agent. So the same has been defined. Let me zoom it out. I think it's a little more zoom in. So yeah, everyone, I have just defined my model client, and we have the assistant agent as well. We have defined three agents again. This time as well, I'm going to like run my team. But before that, what I will do is I will be from Autogen agent chat conditions. Yeah, import max message termination. Now I know that what many of you will be thinking, that Mayank, we already have a max turns, right? Well, yes, but it is not there in other types of group chat or teams. So let me define a termination condition here, which is max message one, right? So I'm just saying that, okay, I will just run the very first agent. So I am providing three agents here, but I will just run the very first agent. Now, let us define this, and we can send this termination condition in here. So the team or the group chat takes in termination conditions, which can be, of course, applied. They will be checked at each run, and if they are done, then we will be stopping the flow. Now, let me run this thing, and I think we should be running it in a separate way so we can see the outputs instead of a single run. Let me just copy that code as well, everyone. Now, okay. Yeah, I think this one is better. So let's get rid of this and have another code and have this. So I just wanted that towards the end, I'm coding and showing you that how the files which we have seen above are useful, right? That's why I'm not written the full code. Now we are defining a team, everyone. We have the team. Once I run this, pause the video and maybe you can think, and in the comments, if you can let me know what exactly or how many messages will we see. We have set the termination condition as max message termination with 1. Let me run this. Hopefully, you have answered the question. And we just see a single message, which is from user. Also, we see the stop reason, which is maximum number of messages. 1 is reached. Now, if you remember, pay attention. It is agent and task message both. So one message, the task message which we gave the task, that is also considered. So a little caveat then round robin team. And if we present it, let's say as 2 now and define it, I will have to again define the team because it has been resetted. If I run this now, then it will be having a single overall like agent taking place. So if I show you from the diagram in the visualization way, everyone, we can go to the termination condition part. So we have covered a lots of ground here. Yeah. So this is where termination conditions are defined, adding a condition to stop the flow of the team based on the logical condition. So when we give this task, ideally they can keep on running in a loop, but of course we can provide different conditions, right? Now, in this case, the one which we use right now, we had this stop sign set on 2, which means that, okay, this is the first message. Then it goes here and it stops the team. So every time it will check if the termination condition has been reached or is true, it will stop that. Now, surely this will not be very helpful. Let's see more termination condition. So we can see the max message. Next one is the text mention termination, which I believe is very helpful and something which you will be using the most. Now think about this. When we say that, okay, some task is over, when we are doing it in a real life as well. In your team, if you are working, or let's say if you are if you do some project report or something, whenever your teacher or your manager or someone in your team feels that, yes, we feel that task has been done, stop. Or maybe in case party, right? But the idea is that we stop the task based on some intelligence. This is kind of that intelligence. So what we can do is we can to ask one of our agent, like I'm just telling you the way of using this. We can ask one of our agent, let's say the final reviewer agent, to tell us if the task has been done, then we can ask it to say terminate. And when it will say terminate, we will stop our team. So it's a very smart way of stopping the team. We can have the max turn 0. We can have a reviewer agent. That reviewer agent will be smart. And if it feels that, okay, all the reviews has been taken care of, then please mention terminate and the whole code will stop. Similarly, we have the token usage one. I think that is pretty straightforward. We have the timeout termination. So let's say if you want to just run your team for 10 seconds, something, right? Then handoff termination. So in a little advanced type of a team, Swarm, if you have learned about OpenAI Swarm, you will have an idea. There's a condition of a handoff. So again, a little out of scope of this crash course, but you can also stop, let's say, when handoff goes to some particular agent. We want to stop so that we can check that, okay, what all has happened. A very good use case of this is, say, refund. Whenever there is a refund, we can then stop our team maybe at that point so that we can see that, okay, what exactly has happened. Do we want to actually process the refund or not? So at that time, we can come in as user in the loop, something which we will discuss in the next part. Similarly, there is source match, external termination, much like how we have the stop button in chat interfaces. In chat GPT, we have that stop button, right? So that is the external termination, something which you will use if you are making a chatbot kind of a thing. Then stop message, text message, function call, or function termination. So I think we have covered all of them only. Whenever you get a stop message, whenever we have a text message, a function call, or a function termination. So this is all where we can stop it. Now let's see the same from the documentation as well. This is a primary agent. This is a critique agent. So the way we provide our prompt is like provide constructive feedback for every message, response with approve when your feedbacks are addressed. So a simple thing, if you are reviewing my code, you can just give me all the changes, and in the end, you can say that okay, your code is fine. Then of course, I will have a party and I will stop working on my code. Now let's see that it has defined the max message termination. Max message equals to 3. Pretty strange why it has defined the max message one. Okay, first maybe it is also showcasing us. So this is the very first one, everyone. Now, okay, max message is 3. Yeah, makes sense. We have the user, the very first one, then primary, then critique. So 3 things, right? Now they have surely worked on this and they have given us the answer. This is another function console which can be used to print it in a nice way, much like how we have the run stream and everything. So again, just a simple way of using it. They are giving a task and after 3 message they have stopped. No max turns here. If you will see, just the termination condition, much like how we have used it. Now, if we go forward, they must have. Okay, so they are running it again as a standalone script. This time, what is happening? Yeah, so again, this time, what exactly is happening, everyone? So it is, if you remember, if you just remember, it was mentioned that how termination condition get reset whenever this run stream is done, right? So they are showcasing that thing only where since we are running it again, so pay attention here. We are running this again and we have used this run stream function. Now, because the team is having the context, it will be running. And since on run and run stream, this is a little bit important thing to notice. They are stateful, but reset automatically after each run. So if you want to reset them effectively, you can just dot reset them. But after each run or run stream, they will get reset automatically. So you can see here that how when they ran it, 1 minute, yeah. So when they ran it afterwards, they have not reset or anything in this particular thing. I think yeah, it was here. Sorry for the mess up. But yes, they have not reset the condition. It has already been reset, and we see 3 message. This time user is out of the picture. Last TT gave the message, so it has taken in the feedback. Then it is saying that okay, revised haiku now follows the traditional 575 pattern, and it still captures the atmosphere. So seems like yeah, it is all done and it is providing the feedback. Then primary person is also saying thank you for your kind words and approval. I'm glad everything. So just exchanging nice piece. Now let's see that how you can combine termination condition as well. I can show you that practically. I can have say a text mention termination. I can either make them run for 10 turns and, sorry, or text mention when one of them say approve, right? So the idea again is very simple. Let me, I think it is this instead. We will check that. Idea is very simple. I am combining the conditions. I want that, okay, it should get done by 10 turns and I should get an approve. If I don't, then I will stop anyways because I cannot make it run forever. Now, if you are using this, then what we have to do, we should also change our agent or something. So I can maybe create a new review agent, and I can just say something like this. Let me remove this. Review agent, you have to say approve once the story is complete and you like the full flow, else provide your feedback. Now, pretty simple thing, it will be providing the feedback, they will be running back again. Let's see if it will be taking in that. So I can just add this review agent here. Review agent. Yeah, I can just define my team again. So either 10 or approve. Whatever happens first, it will stop. Now let us try to run our team and we will see each of the messages. Let us run this. So each agent will run, pause and tell me how many times it will run. 3 times because one message is from the user, which is the source, and three messages, 9 message. Okay, so okay, I think I'm not okay, what have I made a mistake on? Okay, my bad. So we have not defined it here, like we have not redefined our team after redefining the termination condition. So let me do it again, and we can run this now. So user, now we will get, I can delete this as well. This is from the last one. Plot writer, let's see. After that, so it will take a little bit of time. Meanwhile, I think we can see the last example as well. Again, the same thing. We can either use and or to combine our conditions. Here it has combined the same thing, coincidentally, the 10 messages and approve. And this time we will see that how it is stopping. So pay attention. We gave the task again. We defined the termination condition and passed them, the combined termination condition. This time it stopped. It is mentioning the message as well. Approve mentioned. So that is why it is stopping. Let's see the R team. Yeah, seems like R is the use case, which is the same. I can have a markdown here like this. Pretty big overall messages. Shall we find? Okay, my bad. I have not, I have to prompt. Yeah. So we can see that how it is giving us the plot writer. It can have the character writer. Then we have what we have ending. Yeah, source ending writer. And let's see the review as well, everyone. The review writer says what it says. Okay, it is just saying approve. It liked the thing, right? We could have made it that, okay, if you like it, just provide your feedback. And if you feel the same is completed, you can give approve. We could have done a little strong prompting, but I guess that is not the problem here. So this is all, everyone, which the way you can use a termination condition. And I hope you understand how helpful this is. Any team which you will be creating in Autogen, you have this very strong control. And the best part, you can have AI take that call for you. That, okay, when you have to stop, unlike guessing that, okay, when the work will get done in any of the teams. So we have treated round robin team just like any other team. It is connecting with one another and it is able to give us when to stop. Similarly, again, you can create your own custom termination condition as well. Here I think they have made a function called termination, so totally fine. I think it will terminate as and when some function is called. Maybe final greeting message, once that is called, then we should be always stopping because we have the final message. So this is a very good way of even controlling the flow better. And this is something which I like a lot about Autogen. At each and every point, it has behaved like a very mature framework where you can control the things as much as you want. So we can have a predefined conditions which we are using, or it has given you the full overall way in which you can easily define your own condition as well. So this is the, I think, definition of a proper and a complete framework. rather than, let's say, having a drag and drop kind of a thing where we don't have control over these things. So this is like, if you are a pro programmer, you will love this thing a lot about Autogen, because you can jump onto the core and anything which you don't like, which surely will be the case as and when you will go to more mature use cases, you can just go and change the code as you like. So this is the idea. Now surely you can go through this if you want, but I believe that the one which are provided, they are way more than enough. And in the projects as well, we are able to just handle any use case by using any of these termination condition, right? So yeah, that is all about termination condition. I hope like you have surely understood the same, and this is how it happens. Now I could have shown you this, like, okay, I think it is understood that when it will say approve, let's say as in when it says approve, 1 minute. So we have approve here. It will be checked after every message. If I just give you another very quick good thing, let me just show you that. So let's say if I run this team again and I provide about the fall season approve, it will stop because I have mentioned this approve. It is checking if the text approve is mentioned, and my message is also a part of the message. So the second it sees approve, it will stop. The reason, you can see text approve mentioned. Okay. So like months of practice make you even have hold of these things. And yeah, I think that is very helpful. And you will see that how in connection with other framework, this is going to be very much helpful, all these termination condition. Now I believe we can go back and very nicely we can mark a yes here as well. Where are we? So lots of notes, lots of things we have covered. And we can say that, okay, termination conditions are also done. Now let's see that how can I get this flow a little bit outside with me, right? If I am asking for the poem, let's say, why should AI always have that call when to stop? Or normally as well, how can we as human enter into the AI world or the AI agents and say provide feedback, control the flow, or do anything which we want in this human in the loop concept in the next part. So now let's take things up a notch and see that how can we as human be part of this awesome world of agents who are working to solve a task in the human in the loop concept. Now this concept in itself is a common concept across agents. So the terminology is same in your LangChain, LangGraph, Crew AI or any other framework as well. That when our agents are working, how can we be part of that, right? So let's see that once and understand it. Let me have the, okay, we have covered a lots of things. Yeah. So as you can see here, everyone, human in the loop concepts. As of now, our agents were interacting and working with one another. So it used to give task here. Then maybe it can give it back or it can give it to this. The whole idea was that in a way, your agents were only doing the task, but that is not always possible. A very good use case of that, if I can think of, whenever you are chatting with, let's say, an agent on Amazon or somewhere, and say there are multiple agents. There is a agent which is created for customer general query. Then we have a refund agent which is going to refund things. We have a some booking or let's say order agent which is going to help us with order. But finally we have a real customer care. So customer care executive, which is a human. Now think about this. With all what we have learned, we can genuinely create something like this. Of course, you have to go to the selector group chat, which can take the call that, okay, I have to select this user or the human. So something which you can actually create from scratch. But the idea is that now this human is also part of the loop, hence the name human in the loop. So till now our agents were only interacting. Now we entered the loop. So this is the whole concept of human in the loop. And if you remember, I told you that how Autogen provides a user proxy agents, which can mimic the user. So let's see this in action and learn a little bit more. So yeah, as you can see, we have seen how to create, control, observe our team. The section will focus that how with the team for your application, we can provide human feedback because normally it happens rather that we as human want to give some feedback. We want to generally get inside the flow and make sure that we can provide some inputs. For that, there are two ways through which we can do this. So during the team runs, that is when the execution is happening. When the team is still running. And second is once the team run has been completed. Now I will explain you both in a very easy to get manner, which you will be astonished like why it has been made so difficult. But yes, these are the two ways everyone through which we can do that. Now again, we can easily integrate the same from to Streamlit as well, something which we will see in the end in our in our project. So I hope you remember that we have this very good project. Let me check if it is still working. So yeah, user is asking to conduct a review. I hope you're able to join the dots somehow that what is happening. But the idea is that yes, we can create stuff like this where we can have a chat message in the Streamlit app. So this is what they have also provided in the official documentation. So we can have this agent.py. Now this is a agent again. We can create like fully working things like this. As of now, I think it doesn't make sense. But yeah, why we can totally use this and get the work done. Now let's get back and try to understand them first. Like both the cases one by one. The very first one is where we can have the user enter when the team is still running using a user proxy agent. As the name suggests, we are going to be a proxy for the user. So let's see that, and let's see this diagram as well. The whole idea here, everyone, is that when we are running our team, there can be a agent 1, there can be an agent 3, and in between we are coming as an agent. So the flow will stop, or depending on what function we have given, it will be taking in the input from outside, which we will be defining. Now this is very much similar how we have everything here, right? So we can just switch them. Okay, that might not be possible. We can have something like this. So this is the first agent. Then we have the second agent, which is a user, and third agent, which is the third agent, right? Now, it can be very helpful. Let's say this gives you some story. Before it goes to the AI, you are also giving in some input. Or normally as well, whatever output it is giving, you can come in between and correct that. Or towards the end, maybe you can come in and you can, let's say, do terminate or approve kind of a thing. So this is where this things kind of gets used. What will happen? Pay attention. This diagram is a little bit tricky to understand. It could have been a lot easy. Agent 1 will work and then the flow will go to uh, agent 2, which is user proxy. So this in a way you have to treat it like an agent. But in here, this flow will come outside like this request for user input. Now, if you remember or if you do understand that we as user are sitting outside, we are anyway outside, right? We are sitting like this in a nice manner, creating our application, sitting outside, having a nice Autogen session. So the whole idea is that how it will come back to you. This user proxy agent come back to you. This is what this bold arrow suggests. Then based on your feedback, it goes back or your response, then it continues its work. So this is the whole idea of the very first manner of doing things. To understand this better, although it doesn't happen in chat gpt, let's say when I'm asking it to write a story, when it is generating this response, it is asking me in between. So it doesn't happen here, but the equivalent of chat gpt is that when it is coming out with this response, somehow it is asking me or somehow the user is in the loop. Maybe he makes sure that okay, everything will be in the right format. Maybe he makes sure that okay, what are the keys we should get. But yes, user is in the loop when this format is getting created, something which doesn't happen in ChatGPT. But let's see the same in agentic AI in Autogen in action. So let's go back. Let me close this, and we can go human in the loop. So as we can see here, I have actually now shifted to switch the gears and I have shifted to Python file, because as I told you, right, initially we will start with this and towards the end we will shift to the Python file, as that will be helpful in the project as well. Now, lots of issues. Let us select the right kernel. Autogen, 1 minute. Yeah, Autogen crash course. All are gone. Now, let us try to understand them one by one, everyone. I think this is something extra. We are not using that. Yeah. Again, this time we just got the user proxy agent as well. And I think all the other thing makes a lot of sense. Like we know all the other things in a way. Import async IO, user proxy agent, assistant agent. Then console load.env, everything is there. After that, I have defined two agents. The very first one is the simple assistant agent. The second one is the user proxy agent, which is going to proxy a user. Now, it is a really helpful assistant, which is just going to help us with any generic task given. And this is a proxy agent that represent user. Now, the thing which I want you to focus on is this input function, which I have provided as by default the input function of Python. So if you all remember, Python has an input function. Once you run it, it gives back the flow out to you. So let me just demonstrate that for people who are not having any idea. If I like, let me just define that in zero. So let me make a new file and say 9.0, and we can say input function dot py. Pay attention. So I can do print and say hello world. After that, I can say input or inp so that it doesn't have any problem. Input, how are you? And then I can say print by world. I think that makes a lot of sense. Now, if I do try to run this particular code, let me clear everything and say Python 9 dot this and 9.0 input. It is saying, how are you? Then it stopped. It is stopped. It is asking me for my input. I can say, I am good. Now we have not used that extra line /n, so should be fine. And it is done by word. But the flow came out to us. The same understanding, you have to provide your input function which you want to use. Now for us, this is a simple input function by default by Python. You can get a lot more crafty and make it any way you like. Then I have defined the termination condition, which is approve. I have defined my team by having the participants. If you will ask AI to code, first it will make a error of using Autogen or Autogen. Then it will use agents here. So we have to avoid both those errors. Then I'm asking write a nice 4-line poem about India, and I'm running the same. So let's see this in action as well, everyone. Clear everything. Python. My bad. Python 9 dot this and 9.1 this. So let us run this. Great. So pay attention. This was the very first task which came via me. Then assistant has done its work. I can make it, let's say, make it a little easy to understand and have a mm, good ending. So I know it's 4 line, but let's see. So this is again text message which is going as a user, and you can see India shines with color bright and sad. So yeah, it has given a good job. Then I can say mm, tell something about its history as well. And let's see. So for diverse cultures and unified state. So I think now it is good. I can do approve. So if you will see now, I am the part of the loop and I am kind of using or having some say. I can provide a feedback. And it has stopped because we have the approve function here. We could use any other termination condition as well. That is, I think, now totally understood by us. So this thing is very important, and this is how our AI can actually get a lot better. One thing, the team stopped here when we did approve. So the team was running, it was on the hold unless and until I have provided the overall input. So because I'm part of the team now. So this is the very first way everyone of running our team. I think the similar example will be given here. We have the assistant and the user proxy. Yeah, 4-line poem about the ocean. And we can see that how it is going in the same manner. The second approach, that is a little bit good to understand. Let's see that. So let's go here. Yeah. The second approach now is based on the fact that our team is able to load and save the state. Like it is having that idea that, okay, what all has happened, right? If you remember, we have been able to run our team again. So just to show you like what effectively it means that I will be running this team again. So if I do team.run stream again and I ask that, hey, what you did, it will be telling me that, okay, I created a poem on India with the feedback. But if I also provided the direct feedback, it will be able to take that as well. And in a way, without having a user proxy agent, that is a user proxy agent inside. So what do I mean? Let us try to understand that. Once the code runs and the full thing has happened, so everything has been ran, the team has been stopped because of some termination condition. After that, since the team state is already saved, it is stateful. I can give it another message to work on. And this is very much similar on how ChatGPT operates. I ask it to do something. It will give me this, and I can now ask, make status a lot longer with number. Now it is stopping the whole flow. And after that, I'm providing, it is having all the context and it is giving me the output in JSON because I have been continuing this JSON thing in my initial thing. So if I do this now, see, it has made status a lot longer, I guess, maybe a little more longer than we expected. But yeah, that is the whole idea. So we are out of the loop. We are out of the team. This agent, it has done its work. Now we can control that, okay, we are giving in some input. Pretty simple like that. Earlier, it would have asked me, hey, is this like, again, we could have given internally only before showing the end result that, okay, this is the operation. Do you want, this is the status. Do you want to make it shorter? So this is how the concept of human in the loop runs everyone with respect to AI or agentic AI in general. Now let's see the second one as well. So again, the very boilerplate code where we have everything defined. I can just get rid of this. Yeah. Now I've defined assistant 1, 2, and 3. They are going to be a writer, reviewer, and editor. So pretty normal things they are going to do. After that, I have defined my team, which is taking a max turns of 3. Pretty simple thing as of now. If I run it normally, it is just going to behave like this. A minute. Yeah. This is going to be my writer, reviewer, and editor. It will stop and we will come out. That is the whole idea. But we can get a lot more crafty and make it a little advanced and see how we have done this. If you remember, see, this is the way how which we run our team. So our team is having the state if we don't reset it. We have it now inside a loop. So now we are not running it outside. We are having it inside a loop. And the initial task I do provide. So this is the task which is defined outside. I provide this task I provide this task as the very first task which my team has to do. After that, what I do, I overload this task. I just remove its value and I ask that, okay, feedback input, please provide your feedback, type exit to stop. Feedback.lower strip exit. So if it is exit, then break, come out of the loop and stop the flow. Else my task is feedback. So if I ask it that, hey, make it shorter, then this task, it will go back in the loop. Since it has been overridden, the task will go. When the team will run this time, it will be having the context of the previous things as well. So all the three agents, what they have worked on, they will be having the context. Let's see the same in action. I can just run clear everything. Python 9.9.2. And yeah, it is just saying write 3-line poem about this. And we can see that how everything is happening. So they have the 3 message here. We asked them to max turns for 3. They have given this thing to us. I can say make it a little longer with dragon. So yeah, I think this can happen. Yeah, seems like it is working, everyone. Now you will see that how this text message is going as a user message. So we can use a termination condition here as well. Once I do approve, it will stop based on termination condition as well. Something which I want all of you to try it out. I have done the difficult way of doing a loop. We could have a loop and also we could have stopped it. And then we could have seen that, okay, if the message type is stop result or something, we can stop that. But yeah, this is also pretty much similar. If I, let's say, write exit, it will come out. So this is the way it is working. It will keep on working, but yes, the team is not waiting for me. That is the whole idea, much like ChatGPT. Now we can see the same. I think now it will be a lot clear. It ran. It is having all the state, everything saved. It came out. This is bolded because it can have multiple times. And I, as a user, am sitting here. So these are the two ways, everyone, through which in Autogen you can have human inside the loop. And I think both of them are pretty easy to understand. First one, if before giving the answer, ChatGPT takes you in the loop. So let's say someone in the ChatGPT office is sitting and it is approving or providing any feedback. That is how it will happen. Second, once it has given you the output, you are then providing your input or feedback. So that is another very good way of providing your feedbacks to your team. Uh, Prerequisite, you can say, or a requirement that team should maintain the state. Now, if I ask it to make it shorter, and it didn't have that state or the context, it will not be any helpful, right? What it will make shorter, what it will make longer, or let's say easier to read. So the team should maintain state. If in case you do team.reset here, it will just lost all the context. Now it will, I think, lost everything. So please make sure that this is not done. We are not resetting the team context. If you are using it inside any particular application, then what you have to do, make sure that you save your team state. Now you can save the same as well, a little out again of the scope, but there is a way through which we can state our team. Like it's pretty easy, honestly. We can just call this save state function on the agents as well as on the team. So I can use this save state, and the same will go to a particular file, or I can do a database as well. I can use a database and I can load this as well. So in case, like for example, when this will be useful, say I actually it is useful in ChatGPT, to be very honest, the way ChatGPT should be operating. So it is maintaining a state here. Ideally, they will stop it once I maybe log out or once I don't use it. If I go on some other chat, so this initial startup, it is loading the state, right? So that is the whole idea. Something which we will have to use, and we can use your persistent state or database or file here as well. So that, let's say you are defining it by user, by application, you can easily control those things. So they will be pretty nicely doable. For each user, you can have a same team which is performing, running asynchronously, and having the context of that particular user. So those things can also be handled here. And this is all I think there is in human in the loop. Good, very good concept. So see, they have also mentioned that how you can save the state, everything, and this is the way it runs. And of course, we can have the max turns as one as well. So after every run, it is going to ask us for the feedback. So if it is a writer, after every write-up, it is going to ask us as a feedback. Max turns is one. And again, here it is said max turn is specific to team class and is currently only supported by round robin, selector group chat, and swarm. When used with termination condition, I think we have already understood this thing in depth, so shall be fine. And yeah, we can have termination condition as well, totally straightforward thing. But the idea I hope you're able to get that how it will be able to transfer us the flow either from inside or once it has completed the run. So with this, I am pretty sure that we have understood, and I can go and mark the termination condition as done. Yeah, we have covered a lots of ground. Not in red, my bad. Let us see that. Minute, see green, and we can mark this. So great, everyone. We have covered a lots of things in Autogen, and honestly, you are a lot ready now to create your own teams and agents as well. Now let's though try to understand one very important topic, which is tools, something which we have used, but I would still like to explain you this in a little bit of depth, as this can make this these are like special powers. Just like we use tools, they are going to make your agents a lot more stronger. So with that, now let's see, if you're having any doubts, please ask the same in the chat, in the comments with the timestamp, and I will surely help you to answer them and make sure that your Autogen journey is very smooth. So now let's move on to the next part, everyone, in which we are going to discuss about tools in Autogen. Now, in this as well, it is a very important concept with respect to the AI agents. And in different frameworks, we will find that tools are provided in, maybe a lot of them in build, or you can support or add your own tools and supercharge your agent to do more work than of course it can normally do. Just like us, how we use tools to supercharge our workflow, we can have a laptop, we can have any app, a calculator. Our agents will also perform a lot well provided the right tools. Again, right tools. Okay. So let's see the same in action. And here the documentation is a little bit wavy, like it's not a lot complete. Okay, my bad. Sorry. That we have to do after 15 minutes. So if I go on Autogen agent chat, we will not find tool as part of this here. Though we have used the same, and we have seen that how can we give a function. So we will talk a little bit more about that and learn. We see that in the core, we have the tool defined here. So nothing to be afraid of, like things are there in core. That is not the case. Here is where we are kind of see tools are code that can be executed by an agent or perform action. A tool can be simple function as a calculator or an API call to a third party service such as stock price lookup. Let's say if you want to find that what is the current price of say Microsoft stocks or weather forecast. In the context of AI agents in general, tools are designed to be executed by agents in response to model generated function call. So this thing is very important. If you remember when we did that Black Labrador where we kind of mocked our call, it was creating this, it was calling our function based on the model generated call. So it was not sending out the full overall query. It was taking out the part which it required. Now, this is a little bit less easily understandable. So I will make sure that I explain you with my visualization here. Let's go to the tool. So tool, yeah, I think there is where we find these tools. So great, everyone. Pretty nice drawings. I hope you like them. Now, talking about tools broadly, they can be categorized into three major parts, and this is right in Autogen as well. Although it takes these two as the one, but if you talk about any framework, tools can be defined into three major categories. The very first one is the custom function tool. As the name suggests, so this pencil I have kind of added so you understand that yes, this is a custom tool where we have drawn something. In this, you are providing your own function as a tool to your agent. Now, this is going to be very, very helpful whenever you want to control the functionality, whenever you want a specific functionality, which of course you only are aware about. Plus, when let's say you want to connect your agents to your specific application, that is where I guess these tools will be helpful, as it can, let's say, connect to your DB and get your data. So maybe something like this we can do where it can make those calls and internally we can handle them, right? So that is the whole idea. Now we have already seen the same in action, but let's see another example here. Let me close this. Let me actually close everything and we can maybe start from scratch. So 2.1 custom tool function, we can see that how, let me close this. Yeah. Initially, we have defined everything the way we do. So we have the environment and we have the OpenAI client. Then I define a reverse string function, which is going to be my tool. A simple tool which is going to just reverse my string. Now we can make it as complex also as we like. Let me close this. Now, once I've done this, in the later version of Autogen, like not starting from point 4, but in the newer version, they suggest that you use this function tool to wrap your tool. So I will show you what this is. Pay attention. So yeah, again, see, function tool class uses description and type annotations to inform the LLM when and how to use a given function. So again, just we are telling that, okay, this is the tool, this is a description, this is what maybe the input or like the type annotation, what are the different types are of, so that our LLM has a better idea. Though in general, and as a very good practices for any tool which you define in framework, any framework, always make sure that you define the types. Let me remove this extra thing. And you also provide this doc string. So this doc string across framework, this gets shared with your LLM and they are able to make a better call. Ideally, I would also want that I make it a lot better by providing it, let's say, input, which is string. And I will also like to provide output, which is again a string. And I can say this is the type. The reversed string is returned. So this is a very good, or rather the best way of defining your tool, because across the framework, now I don't want that you're limited to one framework, though please master one framework that is required, just like languages. I don't care if you code in 10 language, one language should be mastered with all the concepts. So similarly, tool is that basic concept. Always have a habit to define your tools like this. And in Autogen specifically, we have this function tool where you can wrap it out. So it is going to be very helpful. Now we can define our assistant agent and we can give it, let's say, all the things it requires. So name, model, and everything. I will tell what this reflect on tool use is. Let me, for the time being, just comment it out. And you can see that how I'm giving it the text reverse. 1 second, yeah. How I'm giving it reverse the text, hello, how are you? And just calling it directly using the run functionality. So let us run this, and I think it will be a lot clear. Python. Okay, 1 minute. Okay, my bad. Why are we back at 2? It should be 10. It should be 10. It should be 10. So that we don't go on to our first agent. No, we don't want to do that. Python, let me clear everything. 10, 10.1. 1. And we can run this tool now. Optional is not defined. Where are we using this optional? I have a function. I think there it might be. Yeah. So I actually have a very big tool to showcase that how the tool can be even bigger like this, right? So just as an example, what I can do for the time being, let me just comment everything out here as well. Or let me delete this. Yeah, let me delete everything. Should be fine. We are just using this. That tool I will show you some other place as well. Now, let me clear everything and run this. Clear it again and run the tool. We see that how it has returned the output as the reverse string the way we asked it. Okay, so we have just, I think, printed out the content. For better understanding, we can print out the result as well. And now I think we all will be very comfortable in this. So let me run this. Now we can see that how the whole flow went. We have a text message in the starting, which was the message which we sent. Then we have a tool call request where the text which went thanks to our LLM, not the full query, just the one which we wanted. Then with the same ID, we have the response. So it is able to tool call execution. It is able to response the output, which is this one. And then finally, our agent also returned whatever we have got from the tool. So one thing to note here, which I would like to show and explain, like let's say if I ask it, hello, how are you doing? Or how you doing? So clear everything and let me run it again. So pay attention. This is what we are getting, right? If I just do one more thing right now, print and I do 1 minute. This is the tool, right? Reverse string. If I call this function separately and let's say I pass this, so I'm just calling it parallelly, right? I'm just calling this. I can have this commented and again I can run this. So we see that how the output is totally the same. I think I forget this. Yeah, how the output is totally the same. In a way, whatever the tool is returning, our agent is returning directly. So if let's say I asked you the question, what is 5 into 10 to the power 3.5? You just run it on the calculator and you show it to me directly, right? You are not giving me the answer. Like you are in a way giving me the answer, but whatever the calculator is returning, you are just giving that back to me. This is where the reflect on tool use attribute or this argument come into picture. Where, as the name suggests, it is going to now reflect on the output which has been given by tool. So we can have more uh, this prompt here. This time, instead of directly returning, it will try to maybe give something extra. So let's see what it is now do. And okay, it has not done it anything. We can just maybe ask it, give the result with the summary. So a little, maybe again, as I said, a little weak prompting. We can correct that. And let us run this now. Let me clear everything first. Run this. Okay, see, this time it is reflecting on the tool use. It is giving us this thing with a summary. So it is saying that, okay, original phrase was this. And the reverse one is this, which I have given you. So it is reflecting on what tool said. So in a way, let's say, if I ask you a question, you are seeing the answer and then you are telling me that, okay, this is how it must have calculated that 10 to the power 3.5. This is how we can carry it. This was your question. It was very difficult. All these things it is able to do. If I make it again, like if I make, sorry, if I comment this out again, let me clear everything, clear this. And now if we see, it will just give the normal answer, right? So the second I use this reflect on tool use, it will tell us with its thought or mind. So that is how we are using and defining the custom tools, everyone. Now they can be very, very complex as well. Totally fine. Next, let's move on to the next category, which is your inbuilt tools. Here, as you can see, it is having this AG logo, which means that they are the inbuilt ones which are there in Autogen. Now, Autogen library, though limited, surely has some inbuilt tools, which you can see here. Built-in tools or inbuilt tools should be fine. Again, they have a Python code execution tool. Then they have this local search tool or global search tool for RAGs. They have the Docker command line executor, which is a class which runs this Python code. MCP server tool for MCPs, although that is also a little bit in works, not very enhanced as of now. So surely they will be working on enhancing it. HTTP tool and LangChain tool adapter for using LangChain tools. So as I said, they consider this LangChain tool adapter, which with which you can use LangChain tools separately in a inbuilt tools. But I believe this is logically this is a third party tool. So we will come to that. But for the timing, let's see the inbuilt tool in action as well. So let's go back and I can show you the inbuilt tool. Pretty easy thing which we are doing here. We are using the HTTP tool, but yes, it is difficult to just configure it in your uh, as an inbuilt tool. Pay attention here. Again, this is the very basic code. I'm just getting the I'm just getting the OpenAI client. Once I have done this in the schema, now I am providing that okay. Let me first show you what exactly is the HTTP request we are making. So cat API. I think this is the one if I remember it right. No. Mm, what is the one? What is the main aim? Yeah, cat fact ninja. My bad. So very simple. We have an. I'm just using a basic API, but I'm pretty sure you can use that as well. So cat fact ninja, and I can do fact here. See what it gives you. It gives you a fact and it gives you the length of that fact. So the whole idea is that it is an API which is returning you something. So you are making a REST based call, right? So this is where the use case of HTTP tool can come in. If I have an API which I want to connect, and surely I may want to make sense of. So you can see this. Again, the documentation is a little bit advanced, not very straightforward or easy to get. So they have defined everything. I think they have given an example. Yes. So they have given an example as well. Let's try to understand this from my example. I think that will be better. Now, first, let me get the link. Yeah. So everyone, this is the URL which we are hitting. Now, first, let me get it here actually. Pay attention. Yeah. First, pay attention that how cat fact is basically the main base domain. So again, I'm just naming it and I'm describing it. Scheme is HTTPS. Then I define the host, which is catfact.ninja. 443 is the port. I'm defining the path. So this is the path fact. And after that, the method is get. Response type is JSON. And I'm also giving the schema. Now, what is the schema? If you pay attention here, fact and length. Both, first one is string, second one is an integer. So if I go back, I have defined the schema above. Object type, it is having the fact, which is of type string. It is having the description. Now, again, this will be helpful for our LLM, I guess, as well, when it will be having all these things defined. And length, which is an integer, and description. And both of them are required one. So this is how the schema is. And this is my tool in overall. Now, again, I can just maybe, so we can actually use both the tools as well. Pay attention. We are just passing now HTTP tool and the reverse string. HTTP is the inbuilt one. Reverse string is the one which I have created. You are a helpful assistant that can fetch random cat fact and reverse string using tools. So I'm just telling that, okay, you are this kind of an agent. Now, again, we are just calling this response, this time on messages. Content is this. Let's now try to run this. Clear everything. Python 10, 10.2. Okay, what's the problem? No module name JSON schema to Pydantic. Where is it giving this issue? I think, okay, I get what we are missing out maybe. Hmm. So the whole problem seems to be coming everyone because we are missing some dependency. Now this library overall is something which is missing as well. So either you can do pip install, and I think this is a library. But the major reason is that it is in the ext module and we have not installed that. So we have the ext which is by default, but it doesn't cater to the dependencies there. So it knows what is HTTP tool, but inside that we have a dependency. So let's now run this. Let me clear everything. Let me remove this. and we can run this. So Autogen agent chat is fine. Let's see what all it has installed. Few things it has done. Many things are satisfied. JSON schema to Pydantic it has installed, as we can see. And it is saying that, okay, everything is fine. It has downloaded this particular thing only. It installed that and seems like, yeah, everything is installed. So just a dependency thing, nothing major. We can close everything out here and I can just run this again. So not this. Yeah. Open API key environment variable. Okay, I think it is trying to load it. Well, from where it is loading, OpenAI API key. Let me quickly check if that has been changed. So I have actually removed the .env to like avoid going it on upload. So I was just committing the code in between. So no worries, I have restored that and let me clear this out. Also, let me open a new terminal. Yeah. So source and everything is fine. Now Python 10 and 10.2 inbuilt tools. Let us see this in action. And seems like it has ran and it is giving us the answer. So pay attention. Where is the exact thing? Reverse string. Okay, I think 1 minute. Let me see what have we given. You're a helpful assistant. That is fine. Can you please reverse the word cat? Okay, I think, okay, my bad. We have not given the right task. Can you please get a random cat fact? So now it will work for sure. Again, we ask it to use the other tool. Let us do clear. And let us now run this. This is again for the context thing which I was showing you. The very reason it was not directly hitting, I was showing that how LLM inside our agent or our agent overall is smart, that it can take the call. When I ask it to reverse the string, it call the reverse string function. Now, when I ask it to do, okay, it is saying that, okay, 1 minute, to validation error, dynamic model fact, field missing input value, function call. Okay, let me check this error. What is the exact problem here? So let's see like what exactly may be wrong. We have provided the schema and everything. Okay, let me just maybe change it a little bit. Fact for me using the tool, using the tool. So again, just making it a little bit more consistent. Let us clear everything out and clear and run this. Okay, it is again failing that. Cat fact for me, cat fact using the tool. Or else we will try to maybe then change the schema. Mhm. Okay, seems like it is changing. Maybe we can provide a separate schema. Let me just I have the schema as well for this schema 2, which is something like this. Let me make it schema 2. And we can just provide schema 2 maybe. So schema 2 and clear everything out. And let's try to run this. Maybe like I guess there is some issue in the pydantic. Maybe it's because of version, but let's see that should be fine. Okay. One validation error for dynamic length input should be a valid integer. So okay, maybe seems like it is it taking any input? No. So we are giving this HTTP tool. Input should be an integer. What are we providing here? 1 minute. It is integer only. Let us clear it out. And this again. Stay like it should work. Let's see. Yeah, so it is able to get it. Maybe we will have to do that checking a little bit harsher. Here we can see that how all cats have claws and all except for cheetah shell when at rest, and the length is 73. So maybe what is happening is that unnecessarily our uh, agent is trying to pass some things here. Maybe that was the case. We can have again. This is the tool which is by default. Let me just zoom out. Yeah, this is the tool which is by default, and we can maybe say that catfax directly call the tool, no changes or inputs. Again, just trying to understand what exactly it means with respect to the AI, because these are the issues which you will face as well, right? So let us now run it again. So, okay, very strange. It is giving us the error where input should be a valid integer. Maybe it is trying to change some of the things here. That is the only thing which I can think of. See, without any change, it is able to now give us the output. So yeah, we can see that by going through the documentation as well. But the idea is that using the inbuilt tool, which is your HTTP tool, it is able to provide us with the answer. And again, we have multiple tools in this. So this is an Autogen EXT. We can see the graph rag, LangChain, MCP, Canvas. Now let's move on to the last part, everyone, which is the most helpful, I believe, which is your third party tools. And I'm really thankful for Microsoft and Autogen for supporting this, where we will be able to easily incorporate other tools into our Autogen. So this is how we are just, I found this very good diagram telling that how they can easily connect. So for this, let me show you the documentation. And I think this is a LangChain, yeah. So it provides you a wrapper. First, we will have to install this Autogen EST LangChain. And then it provides you this from the LangChain experimental package. Now, again, this is a little bit old. If I just show you, this has been depreciated. So let us search for this LangChain experimental. 1 minute. Yeah, this is the doc site. So this is a legacy site. They are now moved on to the version 0.3, which is the latest one. Right here, we can find different tools. I think in the version 2 as well. Yeah, so this is the base package, everyone, where they have the tools now. This LangChain experimental is old, but that is the example. Though what I will be doing to show you this particular thing, I will be showing you via, let me first install this because we will be needing this thing. Let me install this. And again, this is a little bit of going a little bit above level, but I hope now you can handle it nicely. Clear everything out. And I have a code similarly for third party tools. In this, we will have to pip install this as well. So I will do pip install this. So this is just the tools, right? What is this? Okay, my bad. Pip install LangChain community. Second, let us see why. Okay, I think the library is different. 1 minute. Okay, totally wrong. First mistake. I've just copied that. Pip install LangChain community. And yeah, that is getting installed. So again, it is having all the tools. Now you should have a little bit of knowledge of LangChain as well. But I guess that should be fine. It is still showing that maybe it has not refreshed or something. Yeah. So the same has been done now. If I go and search for say LangChain tools, we can see that how LangChain has lots of tools which we can use, right? So I will be showing you via this Google Serper. Now you can read more about it. Serper is a website which helps you with Google search. Serper API. So it's free as well, right? I can maybe sign in and show you quickly. So 1 minute. By the way, this is my email. If anyone has any doubt or wants to connect with me, pretty simple. Mail to Mayank Agarwal. In this, what you can do, you can create a key. Again, you cannot use mine, but yes, the idea is that once you have created the key, then you can create a call through which you can get the result. So let's say if I search for Apple Inc. and I do search, we will get the result from Google. So Serper is kind of helping you in doing that. Totally free for the first 1,000 searches, way more than you will require for learning all the frameworks out there, maybe. Because this is supported in LangChain and Crew AI both, right? So if I go back now, again, it's a pretty simple code to understand. We load the key and everything. After that, we just pass this Serper key. This Google Serper API wrapper we use from the LangChain community. And we are saying that, okay, we want maybe the news. So you can provide different types as well here. I think it is mentioned in the LangChain here. If I go on Google Serper. So do we have this type? Yeah. So see, type is there where we can have search or anything, images, all those things are supported. And now you can just easily create a search web tool, which internally is using this search tool wrapper. So I'm able to use this tool from LangChain all the way to my Autogen. Thus this diagram that how they are connecting. Now in the docs, they still are using the LangChain older version, I think which was community or something which we saw. But yes, after a lots of effort, this is the way you have to LangChain experimental. This is how you will be able to do it directly. So this is the best or the right way of using the same. And I think this is something which you should also be doing. So again, I feel that they have to still update this documentation, but after some effort, I was able to run the same. Now again, the client we are creating, everyone. Then we have the agent which is defined. Now you can see the overall full part. You are a helpful assistant that can search the web to find current information. When asked a question, use search web tool to find relevant information and provide a comprehensive answer based on the search result. So simple, searches the result and provides the output. Tool is this search web tool which we have from third party LangChain here. As of now, it supports LangChain only though. And I can just now create this function which is demonstrating the search Autogen third party tool demonstration. Now I have done this in this manner, asking ChatGPT to make it comment so that it is able to, you are able to understand that when you run it at your end. Test query: who won the IPL tournament in cricket in 2025? Without tool, surely it will not have the idea. Let us take a wild guess, or maybe you can take that wild guess. Okay, let's run it without any tool and see what it will answer. And again, it is just trying to then run the query. So I can have actually multiple queries as well. For each query, it will just run my search agent and give me the answer. So let us try to do this. Let me clear everything out. Clear everything. Python 10, 10.3. Now, everyone, this is, again, I know that this might be a little complex, but I really hope that you are able to handle this because I feel that this concept should be very clear to you. So we can see that how the winner of the tournament is IPL, sorry, RCB, and IPL is also winner because they earned the most. And if I go on my logs, we can see that it has searched for IPL 2025 winner just now. So I hope that you can see that how it is very helpful. We search for Apple Inc as well. That is also here. So yes, it is going and hitting our Serper API. It is not that it is getting the result from anywhere else. And that is the reason that I think it makes it a very powerful. One more reason I like Autogen, that it is giving you this kind of a plug and play kind of a thing where you can plug in other tools as well. So yeah, surely that is very helpful, right? Now, yeah, with that clear, I think we have covered the tool in a lot more depth than honestly required. So we have seen that how we can have custom function tool, how we can use inbuilt tools. You can maybe play around with more inbuilt tools as well, and the third party tools as well, which are going to be very powerful. Because in the LangChain, as I showed you, we have many tools which we can use, right? If I go back, see, there are so many tools divided by the search, code, productivity, web browsing, database, finance, and finally all the tools. So you can see that how it is going to be very much helpful for us. And Autogen done a good thing where it knows that yeah, people might know LangChain, or since LangChain has already defined them, it has kind of tried to balance the act here by providing us the wrapper. So kudos for Autogen to that, everyone. And this, I believe, now we have covered in a lot of depth. So let us go back and go up. And I think we should like just have two ticks here, because, or rather three, because we have done all the three types of tool. So it is very helpful. Believe me, it will be very helpful in making your proper agents. I'm using one of the Autogen agents in one, let's say, application of mine. And there I have used this third party tool very much because that made my work a lot easier. And I have explained you Autogen agents tool in lots of depth. The three types: custom, inbuilt, third party. You will have this thing through which you can always go back and understand this. Now let's see in the next part about Autogen Studio UI, something which I'm pretty sure you're gonna love. We have covered so much ground in so much depth. All of that, we will see that how we can also have a UI. So Autogen is very generous in providing us that thing on which we can drag and drop things up to a limit and prototype and test our agents. So let's now move on to the next part where we will learn about Autogen Studio. Great, everyone. So let's now move on to the next part in Autogen Studio, which is a UI which is provided by Autogen. And it can help you to create your teams by just dragging and dropping the elements. Now let's see the same ones on the documentation. Studio, as you can see here, is a low code interface built to help you rapidly prototype AI agents, enhance them with tools. So now you will see that how all the things which I have covered, they will just compress and explain like we use here. So that is the reason I didn't started off with studio directly, but first made sure that the base is very strong and is totally set. So let's see that, okay, it is built on Autogen Agent Chat, something I think which we have mastered a lot, a high level API for building multi-agent application. Now, this is the Autogen Studio v.4. I think like the Autogen, we learned that how it was also version 0.4. And this caution is something which I would like you to focus on. Autogen Studio is meant to help you rapidly prototype multi-agent workflows and demonstrate an example of end-user interface built with Autogen. It is not meant to be production-ready app. Developers are encouraged to use Autogen framework to build their own application, implement authentication, security, and other features required for deployed application. So this is a very powerful statement, and I believe that is true for AI agents or agentic AI in general. That many people they feel that okay, in 10-15 minutes they can easily create an agent which can help them to answer or which can genuinely be a skill. I totally believe, and unfortunately, extremely sorry, but that is not the case. With the level of control you want in real world applications, in the especially in the companies when you will go, Autogen is the kind of overall framework you should master because I told you that how it is having the full control. Now, with the understanding you have, you will find core also very easy if your programming skill is pretty good. But it is giving you all those things with respect to authentication, security. You can implement things and inject things into its base functions. So, this thing is very, very important to understand. And I will genuinely keep my stand here that no code tools can help you to prototype. But if you have to go to real world usage or production applications, you should know about these things in detail. So, yeah, not a caution as such, but yes, something which you should be focusing on because I want that my students they should be well versed and having in-depth knowledge about everything. So that is the reason I have created this good crash course as well, where now we have mastered everything via coding first. So yeah, I think enough talk. Let's go to the Autogen Studio and we can go to the installation. Yeah, so this is the one everyone. Let's go and use requirements. I think I forgot to add requirements of the one we use in middle. So pretty sure that you can do that. You can see the recordings again. And normally if you will see the error, you will remind that, okay, what was something which I installed. Majorly it was Autogen EXT and in this we installed OpenAI. Then we installed HTTP tool and I think the LangChain one as well. So that was what we kind of have not added here. Now, if I do pip install hyphen R requirements again, one word of caution here, which I have noticed. So, what it's going to do is that it is going to downgrade your Autogen agent chat library because Autogen Studio. So, right now we are on 0.6.1. This is the latest one. It is going to downgrade it to, I think, 0.5.7. So, since I've spent a lot of time, I do remember this. The idea is pretty clear. The latest version of Studio requires that library. So if you are using some functionality which is on the latest version, please make sure that you create a separate environment. Now, the reason I know this because again I've spent a lot of time and I faced a problem in one of the implementation where it was not able to just get the function and I was pretty sure that yes that function is there. So a quick advice because maybe it can happen that 0.6.5 version can come in future but because of this small thing you are facing an error, right? So let me go back and let us just install this and I can show you that as well maybe. See, so it will install lots of things. Let it do numpy tenacity installing a lots of package, so it will take a lot of time. Meanwhile, okay, let it run. See, if I show you again, if you will see it as having Autogen Studio that is 0.1.5. Okay, seems like they have released a new version. Let me go on GitHub once. So 1 minute, yeah. Let us search that. I think they have released some new version because else it used to do that. 0.4.22. What are we on? 0.1.5. Okay, let me search this maybe. Now again, this is important and I want you to also follow these things. That's why we are doing it. So okay, whatever it is got. 0.4.22. This is the latest one. Okay, pretty strange. Let's see. Okay, maybe we can run it directly. I think that will give us an idea. Should be fine. Maybe we are like seeing the different one. Once you have installed this, everyone, then after that it is pretty easy to run. Just provide these things. Autogen Studio UI hyphen port 8081. And it will start on your local host and port. Let it start once. So we can see that okay, application is running and it is doing some things. So I will tell you what it is doing here. It is just trying to create a local database in my laptop dot Autogen Studio database, initialized application data folder, then initialize database with default travel planning workflow and successfully initialize everything. So let me go back. And if I now go on this particular link, okay, so this is a older one. Let me quickly check why that happened. So maybe because of some dependency, but yes, I think we should correct that. Don't use this version. Rather, we should make sure to correct this one. Pretty strange that how it happened, but yes, totally strange. So this is not the right UI, everyone. If you have used Autogen lot way back, then you would have seen this kind of a UI. We don't need this. Let me clear everything out. Oh, sorry, let me stop this first. Clear everything out and try to install this again. So pretty strange, like it never happened before, but good that it happened because I would then get less comments that okay, this is something which we are facing. So very happy that I got this here only and let it run. So yeah, see, this is what I was mentioning. It has uninstalled the 0.6.1 and I think then it has installed the 0.5.7. So this is something which I was pointing to, that how it has reverted back to 0.5.7 version and uninstalled 0.6.1. Now, if I start it again, let me paste it. I think, yeah, no, this is not the command. Let me just get the command right, which we were using. So it was Autogen Studio UI, Autogen Studio UI, and port is 8081. Let me run this. So it is now able to load that. I really hope it doesn't mess this up with the previous version one, else I will delete the .autogen studio. And yeah, a humble request. You also please, if you face this issue, I'm very happy that I faced it. Believe me that you will be able to solve that. Now let us go and let me do this and run this now and see how good the UI is. We can just maybe delete everything. So this is from my previous run, which I had. And yeah, so this is the UI, everyone, which you can see. And let me just explain this things one by one. The very first thing which you would like to do, let us go to and understand settings, right? So let me just give you a quick walkthrough. And don't worry, I have a separate video, like we have discussed this already on my channel. So I will tell you like where you can get the full in-length idea. So this is the Autogen Studio where you can build your multi-agent apps by just dragging and dropping. First, let us go to settings. In settings, you see that how we have the settings. We can have the default model. For us, that is GPT-4o mini. And you can of course change the same as well by going to edit model and maybe let's say provide whatever you want here. Then after that, if you go on environment variables, you can just provide any environment variables here like open router key or Google API key. Whatever you want, that will be get picked up. After that, deploy is again a little bit out of scope, but the idea is that you can use it as well to get your team. So the JSON configuration which I talked about, you just go through it once and it gives you the Docker way as well. So Docker container setup, that how you can create this file and it will be kind of deployed. Now let's go to gallery. Now coming to gallery, this is like your default things which are present by default, which are given in Autogen. So you get this default component library. In future, I'm pretty sure that maybe 5 to 6 months down the line, we will get many galleries which we can maybe play around, or even we can just download and create our own gallery. So I will be very happy if any one of you just share your gallery with me, which I can directly load here. And of course, that is a little bit advanced because that would mean that you have genuinely mastered Autogen. Now, in this, you will find 5 major elements, all of them which we have learned about. Teams. We have the round robin team, we have the selector team, a web agent team, and a deep research team. Agents, so simple agents which we have seen. Tools, models, and termination. So I think we know all 5 of these. These are very important. And if we want, we can add a team here, we can add an agent here, we can add some tool here as well. Then model is something which we can add. It also supports the local Mistral or Llama model. So you can just change it here if you will see. So this is the local host, same of Llama. If you don't have the key again, you will like to use it, right? So here you can just change the model and it will work. So Olama or LM Studio both can work here. And in the end, you have the termination condition as well. So let me delete this one which I added. Now you can add the termination condition, right? So termination text, let's say is terminate or say approve. So this is where all the things are kind of defined, which you can use in your studio. So the idea is that, okay, have everything in the gallery. We will drag and drop or pick from here. It also has a like dark and light mode. That shall be fine. We cannot sign in, so not sure why it is asking us to sign out. No worries. Then this is where the playground is. So any team which you have defined, you can just ask some questions here, much like ChatGPT, right? So let me start from scratch. Let me delete all the teams. And we are now left with just the round robin team. Now, if I just close this, okay, close this. This is the builder, everyone, where you can drag and drop things. Now you can drag your things into the agents. Like you can drop agents into team. So I hope you understand this. Termination condition also will go to team, whereas model and tools will go to the agent. So that is the idea. If I want, I can have another assistant agent here and it will come up like this. Now, in a similar manner, I can add a termination condition, which is on approve, and it will come here. If I go on settings, now this will make a lot of sense. It is having all the things which we know anyways. So round robin team, the termination condition, but you will not see max turns here. You can use maybe termination condition with maximum 5 here. So that is what they meant by prototyping, that not all features are available. Similarly, if I go on agent, you can just change and see this agent and see all its information. We should say approve now, not terminate, because we are using it by approve. And I can just run this agent here as well. So this is again the way you can just zoom in, zoom out. You can download this agent as a JSON, this team as a JSON, save it. You can verify that if it is right or wrong. Now, why the verify thing? Because I can see the JSON as well. So if I make some changes here, let's say Autogen agent 2, maybe it will fail. See, it is giving us error. So it is a low code, not no code, low code. And I should go back to the builder. And now if I verify it and save it, everything is fine. I can run the same as well. So what is the capital of France? Let me run this. And seems like it has given us the answer. Second, again, see, it said terminate, it didn't stop. Because for us, the way to stop is approve. Second one said approve because it knows that it has the context that yes, France is indeed the capital of, sorry, Paris is indeed a capital of France, and we are able to get our answers. Now, if we go on this playground, we can create uh, a new session with the team. So this is the team which is being selected. If you click here, you will see the team. You can select the team, select your team, and yeah, do this. It will be maintaining and it will show you the whole flow as well. So first, second, third, how many tokens got used, the whole flow, how it went, and why it ended. Task is completed. You can see the same a little bit more in depth, and yeah, it is going to help you. Now, similarly, they have the selector group chat here as well. So let me go to gallery and you can get the team from here. So I can just copy this and it is now picked up as a template. Here you will see that how we have the model, right? So simple drag and drop things you can do and test this out. Now already if you will go on my channel, I have a proper full video which explains this in depth, that what exactly is Autogen Studio over an hour. In the end, we will also, like in this, you will also see that how you can have like all the components, how you can change few things. And we will be using a web search team in which I will show you that how can you, let's say, find the best value money iPhone from Amazon India. And it is going to do everything for you. It is going to search the web. It is going to make sure that it is able to go to results and finally get that out for you. And additionally, I have also covered that how can you run your studio, Autogen Studio, with the local LM Studio app. So local LLM, because I do understand that not everyone of us is having the key, but that doesn't mean we should stop. So in this, if you will see, this is a very good use case where your agent is doing all this for us, and it is able to search and get the things out and give us the result. How it is able to do that? It has a tool for that, right? So do make sure that you see this for an in-depth understanding the level in which we are covering Autogen. But all in all, yes, this is the way in which this operates. You can now have anything which you want inside this. We can maybe, let's say, provide a chat GPT 4 model here. We can maybe change it to Mistral. So the idea is, I think, pretty clear because we have covered all these things in so much depth. This is the whole overall UI, everyone. And yes, you can just play around with it and create your own teams. I would suggest that create a new gallery here. So let's say test gallery. And okay, I will have to, I guess, give some import from URL. Okay, so again, it's a JSON thing. So either we can paste the JSON. We have the default gallery here. We can import this. And maybe we can make some changes here. That is something which I will suggest you to do, right? Rather than like if you actually want to master it, that is something which I also did. And then maybe you can define your agents. Though there will be limitations. Like that is something which I want you to understand. There will be limitations for sure. See, this is the kind of an agent. It is giving you that reflect on tool use and stream model client and tool called summary format. So good thing, but yes, not all information is or not all parameters are present here. But this is good enough for our prototyping. So head over to the video after this video. Don't leave and just run away. Head over to that video and see that how I have helped you master Autogen Studio and also how we can find the best iPhone just by giving a query here and it will do everything for us. So with that, everyone, I guess we are kind of also understood about Autogen Studio in depth. Now you can play around it and surely go to the video if you want to see how can I integrate the local one, because with the crash course, this will take a lot of time and I don't want to repeat that effort. I want that you understand and test out things based on the confidence which you get from this video. So with now we have covered so much ground, everyone, that we can create a very good project and the one which I showed you in the starting. So in the last part, let's conclude our learning and see that how can we create a project from Autogen, which is going to search the RCEP library for us for the research papers on the topic we ask for. So let's now move on to the next part. So great, everyone. Now let's move on to the next part in which, based on all the learnings, we are going to implement a project. And I will show you that how all these things which we have learned that is getting used. And in the end, you will be having a end-to-end application where you can ask it anything and it is going to surely give us the answer by genuinely searching and giving a summary as well. So if I click on this, it will take me to that research paper. Now, many students ask me that, sir, what is the best research paper? What research paper are coming into this particular field? Well, now you have a full application for that, which you will also be learning how to create. Super happy that you have made it till here. And let's now jump on to that. Let me first see if I have made any visualization for project. I guess all is present, but let's see still. Yeah. So again, this is just what I have created. So we will have two agents here and we will be using the RCEP library in Python, which is able to search and get us the result. The project is loosely based on the official. So they also have a project, but that is a difficult one to just do. So again, if you will see here, it has a travel planning, which is a very simple kind of a team, which you can genuinely create on Autogen Studio as well. Then company search. This is a little advanced, but the good thing is that I have a way much more advanced project than this in pipeline. And the last one is the literature review, which is unnecessarily complex, which I made a lot easy for you. Now, let's jump on to the coding. Let me close the Autogen Studio and we can close other things as well. So pay attention, everyone. Now, the way I have defined it, divided the project, it is an Autogen backend, and the front end we are parsing via the Streamlit application, right? So let me first show you the backend because that will make a lot of sense to us. This is again what all I have defined, literature review backend. Code logic for the multi-agent literature review assistant built with the Autogen stack. Now version 0.4 is very important to mention here. It exposes a single public coroutine run literature review that drives a two-agent team. Search agent crafts an RCEP query, fetches papers via the provided RCEP tool. Summarizer writes a short markdown literature review for the selected paper. Now, if you will see, that is what is happening. We as user ask the query. Search agent is telling. Now you can hide that. That is all in just Streamlit. And finally, we are getting a very good query in a markdown format. So yeah, let's see that how can we do that. And it's a very good practice to make it like this, right? So let's see this in action, everyone. I have made it a very nicely commented. We have just imported lots of things. We have the async IO typing. Then we have the RCF libraries, right? I think we can ignore this, not type ignore. We are using the function tool because we will be defining a local, sorry, we will be defining a custom tool. Then assistant agent, then we can get rid of this as well. So I was just trying out to make it more complex, but I think easier works. And after that, we have the team and the client. Okay, so pretty simple thing, no worries at all. Now, the very first thing is my tool, everyone, in which I'm using the RCF library. So let me show you this thing. RCF Python. So it helps you in getting the papers, etc., based on the search query, right? So let's say if we are searching for query, we can provide the maximum result, which is 10, and we can, let's say, sort by submitted date. So the newer one will come first. We can sort by relevancy, etc. I hope all of you know what RCIV is, and really sorry if I'm like pronouncing it wrong. And yeah, you can just search for papers here, right? So agentic AI, and it will give you the papers. So we do have lots of papers for agentic AI, and it is normally suggested that any field you're interested in, please make sure that you find relevant papers in that. Well, this is how you can do that. And a better way of doing that is this directly via the project which we will make. Now, it is just, we are just sending the query here and the max result, which is default to 5. We are creating the client, we are creating the search request. Once we have defined this thing, we will be getting our papers, right? So once we do this client search, we will be appending for each of the result in this, we will be appending the papers. What all is present in papers: title, authors, published, summary, and the PDF URL. So we can see this, and that is the best thing. I think, okay, I've not shown the summary here. Authors, I think it is problem tackle, which I've kind of wrapped around the summary and the key contribution. So this study revolves, yeah, this is actually the summary. Study provides a structured taxonomy addressing design philosophy and challenge associated with AI agents and agentic AI. So yeah, this is a very good way of actually understanding, do you want to read this paper or not? Now let's go back, and I have just now wrap this tool into the function tool. You can use it directly, but since the newer version are suggesting this, that is helpful. And if you are on point 4 some version, please upgrade that, because as far as I remember, it was not there. After that, I'm just building my team. Now I'm using a functional way of doing this here. I am not defining it in a Python script. And that is something which I believe you should also be doing. So build team, and then we can see that how the team is starting to get built, everyone. Create and return a 2 agent team, etc. Then it is having the client here. Now the key is kind of cut, so you will not be able to use that. Then we have the search agent. I could have done a API key as well, but shall be fine. We have the search agent, which is having the name, the description, and the system message. Given a user topic, think of the best RCF query and call the provided tool. Always fetch 5 times the paper requested so that you can down select the most relevant ones. Now, actually, we can just do 5 only. I think that will be helpful. So what I was doing was I was little playing around that maybe we can get more papers than user wants, and then we can select the best one. So that was my idea, because what I saw that if we were just getting the 5 one, like if we were getting the 5 or the exact number, the results were not so good. So that is the whole idea. Then you can down select the most relevant ones. When the tool returns choose exactly the number of paper requested and pass them as concise JSON. So this is the whole idea, everyone. Now what can I do? I can maybe remove this to make it easier only. Shall be fine. Again, I want that you play around with these things, right? So that you can also practice some things. And this is helpful, right? Tool is just the RCF tool. I think that makes a lot of sense. Model client, the LLM client, which is GPT-4o mini here. And we are reflecting on tool use. So that is why it is like giving it like this. So title, authors, etc. Not just the direct output. Now we have the summarizer, which is your assistant agent. And it is just having again the whole idea that produce the markdown summary. Since they are in a round robin group chat, they are, first it is going to search and then it is going to summarize. Now you can easily make a having a user proxy agent or any complexity, but this is what we are doing. Not a lot simpler, but yes, it is still a manageable kind of a thing. Let me actually add that as well because I don't want that you see bad results. That will be helpful. Now, if I go forward, everyone, I have created an orchestrator here. Now, the orchestrator is just like our function which we create to run our team. So we are just building our team and we are providing the model here. Task prompt is this task prompt, and we are just running it in a run stream. Now, the reason I have this in a function is that I want to use it in Streamlit as well. Now, again, I am really assuming that you have seen all the things which we have discussed, so it will be very easy to get. But I will still suggest to create this team from scratch, even after seeing the video. And I've still kept it very easy where it is in a single script, because future projects which I have done, they were in a proper end-to-end production manner where we are having separate folders and files for each and everything, for each agent, for team, and we were creating a proper Streamlit app as well on that. Now, once the team has been defined, I can run this. And if I want, I can just test out the same in the CLI. So in this, I am just testing it out in CLI, something which I will not be normally doing. So let us do this. If I do Python 12th and say Autogen backend. So I can see the idea is that first we will be testing it out in the CLI, then we will go to the front end, right? So let's see it and make it run. So it is again doing something. It is user.run.stream only, but it is taking the time. So let it take the time. And we see that how it has got us the answers, everyone, right? And then our next agent, which is your, what is the agent? Yeah, it has given us the whole summary. So here we are just asked for neural network for chemistry, a simple normal query. We could change to maybe, let's say, artificial intelligence. And I think, yeah, that is also going to work. One thing more I would like to see here, just a second. I can maybe yield this thing, and to make our work a little bit more difficult, I can maybe first have message here. So let me have the message, and maybe then we can have this in. Great. So let's see this now, everyone. Let me run this again. So source user, it is just giving us the message first. This is the thing. And then after two lines, or rather three new lines, we are getting this thing. Now the tool call is getting made to RCF. So let us see and how it will run. And again, one good thing in this is that there is no dependency. You don't need any other key if you have your LLM handled. Because in many of the examples which you will see on the official documentation, it unnecessarily asks you for a Google API key or Google Vertex key or something, which I think kind of is very not very helpful, because getting that key will mean that you have to again go to Google and create an account there. So that is all something which I have removed. So now if we see, everyone, we can see that how we are having everything here. So, okay, let me see. It is a little difficult now to understand. That is a good thing. Okay, no, here, yeah. So we got this thing. We have the message here, everyone, where we can see that, okay, what exactly we got back. Then after that, again, just I want to show you that, yes, this is how we are returning it. But thanks to the way we are showing it, it is able to easily readable. After that, yeah, this is the reading thing. And we have just then kind of marked down and, sorry, summarized all the things, right? So this is the thing and this is the paper, right? So yeah, makes a lot of sense. I think, yeah, this is how it is getting executed. Shall be pretty straightforward. These are the links, etc., which we are getting, and our summarizer is just doing the awesome job of summarizing everything. Now let's jump on to the front end part. Again, see this part again if you are not understood how this is working. Let me get rid of this now, because then it will be a lot difficult to read in the Streamlit. The reason we are yielding it here, because it's a generator, it is returning that back. So in the Streamlit as well, we will be using this. Let us go back and see the Streamlit app. Pay attention. A minimum Streamlit app frontend for the literature review assistant defined in literature review backend.py. User enters a topic, and I should make it different. Actually, it is Autogen backend.py and the desired number of papers. Then watch the two agent conversation stream in real time. Now, I don't have Streamlit in this environment if you remember. So what we should do, we should go on requirements and we should install Streamlit. Streamlit again is an awesome library through which you can create front end. So pip install -r requirements. Let it run and let me just stop that. So till now I have been running that from a separate instance, right? So let me stop that there. So let me stop it. If I refresh it now, it will be gone. Yeah. So it has done that. Let me just tell you one more thing here. One very, very important thing again. Always make sure that you do this with Streamlit. Now see, there is a problem. I will show you what the problem is. Streamlit, uh, I think it was 12th. And if I select streamlit.application, it will start, no such command 12th, my bad, okay. Streamlit run 12th and streamlit.app. So it has started, but it is giving us the error. It is saying no module named RCEF. Okay. Now the problem is that actually I think I should add RCEF here as well. I installed that to test out something. Should be fine. So RCEF also we have provided. Let me close this once and do this pip install requirements again. So again, this is some error which I faced, which I don't want you to waste a lot of time on. Now we have got RCEF as well, hopefully. Now if I run this again, Streamlit run the application. Again, it is saying the same thing, no module RCEF. But we have just installed that, right? The problem is that this Streamlit, this application, it is not coming from my environment. It is not coming, it is not taking it from here, the Autogen crash course one which we have created. It is taking, if I show you by clearing everything, which Streamlit, it is going to my global installation. So that's a very big problem, right? Because in the global, I don't have the Autogen or RCEF, etc. installed. So for that, do deactivate. And we have deactivated our environment. Source Autogen bin activate again. In you might also require to restart your VS Code, but I think it will be handled. If I do which Streamlit now, see, now it is coming from my mind one, right? So I actually wasted an hour one day on this particular issue where I installed that library maybe 10 times and genuinely it was very frustrating. But the whole idea is that now you will not face the problem. If I now do Streamlit run 12th and Streamlit app, let me run this. And if I refresh it now, see, the same has been easily started. I ask it for give me for agentic AI. Again, I will be showing you the code, don't worry. But yeah, I can maybe let's say ask for 7 papers. And it will run and hopefully give me the 7 papers. So for people who are not a lot, I think though you should be learning Streamlit at least because it is the easiest way of making this awesome UI and the front end. So yeah, no one is there who is going to skip that. Okay, you need to know the Autogen and at least a Streamlit app because the idea is that it is very easy to present in this manner. If you would have been showing on a terminal, that is not the right way, right? So I wanted to, again, the crash course is complete. You learn everything and you finally also see that how can you present your project. That is the whole idea. So seems like again it is working, it is getting you things here. And here are the 7 selected 7 papers for the same. And now the say all of them will be kind of summarized. So let's see them. So yeah, it is doing pretty nice job thanks to RCEF libraries and our understanding of Autogen. The same has been now summarized. Click on anyone and go directly to the paper and read it, right? So now let's see that how exactly have we written it, everyone. Let me remove this. It is going to be pretty easy. The very first thing, set page config. Now the good thing with Streamlit is that if I comment everything out and I refresh it, it is all good. So it gets refreshed in real time, right? See, this is the title which we have done. This is the page title and the page icon. So there is a reason if you go here, you see this book icon and the literature movie review. After that, I am giving a paper. Sorry, I'm given a text box. So let me just remove this. If I refresh it, now I have the text box and this slider. So pretty simple thing. Post that, this is where the all magic is happening. Pay attention. The very first thing, you don't see a button here. You don't see a button here. So I'm just adding that button search. And I am saying that, okay, when the button is clicked, so if st.button and query is not null, like query is having something, then we are defining a runner inside it. Again, these are based on some broad practices I have covered here, which again is going to run in a container. Pay attention how it will run. It is going to run literature review, the backend which we have defined here. It is going to just call that. See, it was also running like this only. This particular thing, if you pay attention, it was also running via this run literature review backend code. And it is very much how we have ran the code throughout our crash course. Now, if you go forward, you will see that how I have again just we are splitting it. So if you remember, we were returning this role and the content. I am just splitting this rest via this particular thing. Okay, if you want, you could have shown everything. That is also fine. Then I am just saying that okay, strip it again as well, and I am just showing that as a markdown after that. So pretty simple thing I'm doing with chat placeholder. St plays that message. So I'm just using this container, right? So if I refresh it now, you will see things coming. If I do AI agents, sorry, let us do Autogen maybe. Search for it. Now this again, this is a container which is showing you everything. It is working everything. So all I'm saying is that pay attention. It is able to get me the message. And with st.spinner, it is trying to run this in the backend. And if there is an error, it will just go out of this loop. So these are more things regarding to Streamlit, where it will create some new event loop, etc. So learn about event loop in Streamlit, and this shall be a lot clear. I could have made it an easier thing as well, but I believe that this is totally fine because you should be at least aware about these much things if you are learning and presenting your AI agents project, because they should be pretty good in the work case, right? So see this container, now it is having everything. So yeah, I think that does complete our full thing. Now see, pay attention how we are showing the role here and then the content. So that is the reason we are seeing the search agent in dark, the bolded, and we are seeing the whole content here. So yeah, this is how your agent will work, and a pretty easy, maybe 15, 20, no, 40 line code of Streamlit, out of which the first, yeah, 30 line code, because the first 10, 15 are nothing as such. And a very much easily well committed, understandable backend. Now, what I want all of you to do is to make sure that you can create similar kind of things. Do tag me, do share that. And I do believe that you can create awesome projects with this understanding for sure. So, yeah, with that, everyone, I guess we can go back and very happily, I would like to mark this full thing as done where we are. Yeah. So, I would like to mark this project as done as well from this thing. Yeah. And I hope you all are with me here. Thanks a lot for being for this whole part where we have actually mastered this Autogen up to a very good level where since we can create the project as well, which can do real work for us. Now, what I would want, what your homework is that we saw that how can we integrate tools into our agents. I would like that you have a tool here which searches first and then it goes to your, let's say, RCF library to search that. Okay. So before this, we have another Google search agent which search for this topic and then it gets the things for the query. So yeah, we can see that how we have so many papers on Autogen. Again, because we have asked for more and it's a relatively new framework, we will surely not have many things, but yes, we can go here or see this Autogen Studio paper and see we have the full idea. So this is the paper on which Autogen Studio was kind of suggested, how we can start that. The oldest UI, I believe, is this one, which is pretty nice. And yes, the whole thing here, which is kind of explaining that what all goes in the backend. So pretty powerful thing, right? So yeah, let me close this. And I think now we are pretty done with everything. So nicely, we have covered the Autogen crash course. Everything is done. So great, everyone. So great, everyone. Now, I really hope that you like this particular Autogen crash course, and I really hope that you will be like since you have completed it, you will be feeling a lot more confident Do make sure to like this video, share it with everyone, whoever is going to start their journey in the AI world, because I believe this is a proper way of getting it by mastering a framework instead of any drag and drop tool. And do let me know in the comments how you like the explanation and everything. If you have any doubts, please ask the same with the timestamp, and I will be happily clear that as soon as possible. Make sure that you also share your learnings on LinkedIn and do tag me out there. And I will be more than happy to help you in further in the journey of your Autogen. So with that, thanks a lot for staying with me. And we are concluding this Autogen crash course. Really hope that you have a great learning experience.